Shop for your next car, truck, or SUV at Riverside Auto Group. Check out riversideautogroup.com today to browse their selection or visit with them in person at Riverside Chevrolet GMC in Rome, Riverside Toyota in Rome, and the all-new Riverside GMC Cadillac in Cartersville. Locally owned and operated by the Welburn family since 1974. That's Riverside Auto Group. Visit riversideautogroup.com.
At Darlington, we're proud to wear purple and white.
Because Tigers strive for greatness.
In the classroom and on the field.
We know that we can do anything, be anything,
achieve anything.
We're part of a program that is 100% dedicated to nourishing our minds and our bodies.
As teammates, we push each other further than we ever thought we could go.
Because every single one of us has something to contribute.
We practice hard so that when we compete, we can leave it all out on the field.
With each win, we build confidence.
With each loss is a lesson.
Our coaches teach us more than technique.
They prepare us to be good teammates,
friends, and people.
We face adversity together
and push through to reach our goals.
We may struggle,
but we will never give up.
Because today,
tomorrow, forever.
We're Darlington Tigers.
Women and children first, a little bit early.
My name is Ryan Somerville. I am the sales manager for Business Water Solutions. We do water purification coolers as well as ice machines for any size business. We're on campus right now at Darlington School. Super happy to be here. They're one of our biggest customers. I myself played sports here. Our two founders played sports here. It was absolutely our pleasure to be a sponsor for Darlington Athletics. I think one thing that really sets us apart is our water purification. There's 13 stages. The reverse osmosis part of it has been a huge part of our success, along with our 24-hour guarantee for service calls. So when a customer does call us, we're then guaranteed within 24 hours. We were able to provide a touchless water system to make it more COVID-friendly in terms of germs and touching the water system. One thing I always say is we're not selling a product, we're selling our service. That's what we really push for every single day, is to have a customer service experience like they've never had before.
Water is the building block of life. At Abernathy Pump Service, we ensure you have the clean, reliable water you need. Whether it's water treatment, pump repair, or installation, our experts are here to serve both residential and commercial clients across North Georgia. With decades of experience, we guarantee top-notch service and quality you can trust. For all your water needs, choose Abernathy Pump Service. Because water is life, and we're here to keep it flowing. Call us today to schedule your service.
It's time for the Coach Groves Show, where we sit down with the head coach of the Darlington Tigers football team and talk about all things Darlington School football. Now we go live to Matt Davis and Ian Griffin, who are standing by with Coach Wayne Groves.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Coach Groves Show. We are here, and we're going to break down last week's action against Heard County. and preview the big matchup at Chris Hunter Stadium with the Model Blue Devils this Friday. Coach, how are you doing tonight?
Doing good. Ready to get back to it.
Awesome. Well, we're excited to talk a little Tigers football, right, man?
Absolutely. Always excited to talk about the Tigers. So we'll just go ahead and jump in with our first question. Of course, Coach, last week's game, another wild one. Of course, that's been a theme this season, been a lot of interesting games, very competitive games. You guys trailed by 2 points at halftime. Braves created some separation there in the third quarter, a few touchdowns from the quarterback Tisdale there in the third quarter. But again, your guys continued to battle until the clock ran out, but the game ended a little bit out of reach. So what was your message to the team after last week's game, Coach?
Well, I knew the boys were very disappointed. They knew that they didn't play well and execute at key times in the ball game. But, I told them I was proud of them, of how hard they played. Even though we didn't play well, I thought we still played hard. And then, you got to look, past those things and you got to move on. You have to have a quick memory in these types of games. So I told the kids, we're going to go back and we're going to review the film. We're going to see what we messed up. We're going to correct those things. And then you got to go out and move forward and keep getting better, because we still have our best football to play ahead of us. We still have 3 big region games left to play. And then hopefully if we do well enough, we'll be in the playoffs and can keep going. So you use this as a learning opportunity, learn from mistakes, but we got to keep it moving. No time to drop your head or anything like that. So just learn and move forward.
Well, Coach, to kind of spiral off of that a little bit, with the 3 big region games left, really all your goals are still in front of you here. What have been the biggest areas of focus for the team this week in terms of continuing to progress as you enter this final stretch of games?
Well, even though we didn't get the outcome we wanted this week or this past week, and we didn't play well, we still have to work on doing things that we've done well. Let's continue to do those things, and we do a lot of things well during the football games. The next things is, we want to make sure that we're taking care of the football, especially in key moments of the ball game. We've got to take care of the football always. That message is not going to stop. We're just going to keep on, and we're going to keep on. We're going to keep working it, and hopefully we'll see the fruits of that on Friday. But that's got to be a point of emphasis. Just fundamentals and techniques at each position. We just want to continue to work and improve those things and football knowledge and IQ and situational football. And then, we want to do things until we absolutely can't mess them up. We don't want to just practice till we get it right. We want to practice till we absolutely can't get it wrong. And so I tell the boys all the time, practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. And so those are the things we're going to keep doing and try to propel this team into the playoffs this year.
Glad you're with us on the Coach Grove Show. And, Coach, last game's Honeymoon Bakery player of the game was Jace Donaldson. Had some explosive plays, including a pair of touchdowns, as well as another touchdown that was called back due to a penalty. But this is the second time that he's won the award this season. What are your thoughts on his continued progress throughout the season and what he brings to the table?
Well, I'm a huge Jace Donaldson fan. I mean, he's, of course, I love all our boys, but I've known Jace since, he was – in elementary school. And then when I was at Rome, when he was a 6th grader, he was at Rome Middle. And so those guys would come over and lift weights in my after-school weight training program. And I told him back then, I said, Jace, you're going to be a good football player one day. And so he liked that. And he always has a smile on his face, and he's always in a good mood. And he brings a lot of positive energy to the football team as well as what he plays, how he plays. And he's a great character kid. And so when I came back to Darlington and Jace was there, I said, look, I told you, I was coming back to coach you, and I'm fired up about it. And I still think you're going to be a great football player. And, man, he's turned into that. And so, when great kids work hard and they invest and they're passionate about the sport, and he just – he has a lot of success on the field because of the way he's just conducted himself the last few years. So, he's a huge contributor on our team in every aspect, offense, defense, special teams, and he's going to continue to do that. He's going to continue to develop because he's a good kid with a great work ethic.
Well, excellent, Coach. You just talked about how much you care about these players and you develop a close relationship with them as you coach them. Last week was senior night, and all the seniors were recognized. So I know it has to be a little bit bittersweet to realize that your time coaching them is coming to an end. Can you give us a few words on what this group of seniors means to you?
Well, it's it's really special because this is my second year at Darlington, and these guys, they get to be with me. They've been with me longer than anybody, so that's special. There's 6 of them, and I could talk about all of them and rant and rave about different things that they bring to the table. But, the 6 seniors are Sammy Konchesky, who's our quarterback and strong safety. He's played a lot of football for the Tigers over the last few years. He's made a lot of huge plays and contributions. But again, just a great kid, a great young man, great grades, and does things the right way. And then you got Jaron Payne, number 9, defensive end, and Jaron plays some tight end too. But, he's just a Darlington legacy, the football name, a kid that grew up wanting to be a Tiger. And he's been a key contributor on both sides of the ball and in special teams. And then you got Sam 20, 50, number 57. We'll start Will linebacker, starting offensive lineman. Sam plays over 100 plays in every ball game. He's been a 2-year starter for us. He's one of those kids that started off in that Rome Middle School weight training program with me back in the day, and then I got to reconnect with back at Darlington. But he's a great young man and a great football player. Noah Duggan, another one. I was looking on the live stream a few weeks ago at the Pepperell game, and someone had commented that how many Duggans are there? And someone's commented, I played against a Duggan in 2016, and then another guy commented, he goes, that's funny. I played against a Duggan in 2009, and then here we are, 2024. And I got more Duggans coming. So little Levi is going to be a good one, but. Again, just a great kid. He's played linebacker, he's played running back, he's played fullback, he plays tight end. He's, on all special teams. Just a kid that's a Darlington through and through and gives his heart and soul to the program every single day. And then Stephen Moore, a kid that had to work a lot harder than some kids have to work to get into the starting lineup. But he's been there, and he's been a key contributor for the last 2 years. And what a good young man. A kid that's an overachiever, that's really improved himself physically and his football knowledge, and I'm so glad to be able to see him out there and have some success. And then the last senior is Trenton Moore, number 10. He's been a 2-year starter, linebacker, receiver, tight end. Again, plays on all special teams. He's playing over 100 snaps a game and playing well. He plays really hard. He's athletic and long, and so those guys, we're definitely going to miss them. There's a lot of huge shoes to fill, but I hope we can keep these seniors rolling and get them to play as much football as possible in the next few weeks.
Well, I have to ask, while he's not out there on the field contributing during the games, what are you going to do without Jason Payne on the inflatable Tiger? I mean, that guy's been over there for as long as I can remember.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I don't know if we can get rid of Jason. Maybe he'll stick around a little bit. Probably not as much as he does now or the last few years, but. If there's anybody that's Darlington, it's the Paynes.
No doubt.
No question about that. Well, that's going to end our first segment of the show. In the next segment, we're going to talk about the black shirts, offense, defense, special teams. And we're also going to have the Getting to Know Coach Grove segment. And I have to say, we were going to try to steer away from the 80s theme this week, maybe circle back around to it, but we're kind of stuck on it.
We're riding that pony.
So we're going to stay there for a little bit.
That'd be good.
But we're glad you're with us. This is the Coach Grove Show. We'll be back in just a couple of moments.
Shop for your next car, truck, or SUV at Riverside Auto Group. Check out riversideautogroup.com today to browse their selection or visit with them in person at Riverside Chevrolet GMC in Rome, Riverside Toyota in Rome, and the all-new Riverside GMC Cadillac in Cartersville. Locally owned and operated by the Welburn family since 1974. That's Riverside Auto Group. Visit riversideautogroup.com.
And welcome back into this episode of the Coach Grove Show. And we enjoy every segment, but this one kind of sometimes has a little bit extra. We talk about a lot of different things. So we're going to start with the black shirts, offense, defense, special teams, scout team, all the good stuff, and talk about the Tigers. So where do you want to start, Coach?
All right, so black shirts this week, and I always like to recognize Rice kids for their hard work and kind of by the behind the scenes work that these kids are putting in. So, this is one of my favorite segments too that we get to do. So on offense, the black shirt, we had some honorable mentions this week. I thought Miles Twyman played really well and did some good things and ran the ball. I thought Bodie Powers ran the ball well and blocked really well. I thought Jace Donaldson ran the ball well and blocked really well. But I thought the kid that played the best and that contributed the most and blocked the best with the least missed assignments was Nate Konchesky. Little Nate, he's all heart, but he's out there blocking. They got a big linebacker out there who's about 6'3", probably 215 pounds, and Nate's blocking him up on sweeps and blocking him up on some of our switch calls on our option plays. And so I thought that needed to be rewarded there. So Nate Konchesky gets the offensive black shirt. On defense, it's going to be Jace Donaldson. And I know he was the Honeymoon Bakery Player of the Week. I didn't even know that you guys had announced that. But he played well on defense. He had 10 tackles. He had 8 solos, 2 assists, 2 pass breakups, an extra point block, and a forced fumble. And so he made a huge impact on the defensive side. Made a lot of plays out there in space, when the sweeps bounced wide out there. And so Jace Donaldson gets the defensive black shirt this week. On special teams, had some honorable mentions. Stuart Grigsby had a couple plays on special teams on kickoff and punt. And then, kind of a side note with Stuart, he may set the record, and we've been kind of joking around it. He may set the record for most fumble recoveries. If anybody can figure out that all-time record, but most fumble recoveries, I think he's had about 8 in 2 years fumble recoveries. And so he had his 4th fumble recovery this year. And so I kind of joked with him today. I said, we got to turn those fumble recoveries into scoop and scores, next. And let's be the scoop and score record guy. But somehow, and a lot of it is his effort. He's around the ball. He's around the ball when, we make him cough it up, and he's getting it. But that didn't give him the black shirt. We got the black shirt. I think it was worthy of noting and a pretty cool little stat line there. But Miles Twyman gets the special teams black shirt. Perfect snaps, perfect whole snaps on PAT and field goals and punts, and then had a huge return, kickoff return. I know it got called back, but he made a kind of a play on his own without much blocking right there, and took the thing up the sideline, and then had some other special teams plays as well. So Miles Twyman gets the special teams black shirt, and then the scout simulation offense. Levi Duggan, he continues to be a guy that just keeps on making a name for himself. And so he played a lot of receiver and simulation tailback last week, did a phenomenal job. So he gets rewarded for those efforts, Levi. And then simulation D, the young guy that we hadn't mentioned, who's kind of a newcomer out there, is Matthias Sale. Matthias is a young guy that's playing some running back and playing some Mike linebacker for us. That's really stepping up and making our varsity guys, have to really prepare and really have to work out there at practice. So Matthias Sale gets the defensive black shirt.
Heck yeah.
Awesome.
Heck
Good
yeah.
stuff, as always.
Yeah, absolutely. And our next segment, our next portion of this segment is the Getting to Know Coach Groves portion. And we're excited about this one. Last week, we've been on an 80s kick. We're sticking with this. We asked about your favorite 80s movies. This week, sticking with that theme, we want to know your top 5 80s bands.
All right. An 80s is kind of tough. If you'd have went songs, that would have been really tough.
I know.
That would have been really tough because then you get into a lot of the one-hit wonders, and there's quite a few of them and quite a few bangers in the one-hit wonders.
That's true.
But I would say, we'll go no particular order until the last one because there is one that is my favorite 80s band of all time. So we're going to go no particular order. We're going to go Def Leppard. We're going to go Poison. We're going to go Motley Crue. A lot of people, I may be a fan of these, but I think The Cars is one of the best 80s bands.
Yeah.
There you go.
Van Halen, not Van Hagar, Van Halen.
Boom.
Yes.
There it is.
And then the number one, it's Guns N' Roses,
Guns N'
man.
Roses. Okay.
It's Guns N' Roses.
Yeah. Awesome.
Very interesting. Okay, I'll give mine real quick, then we'll get Ian's and contrast and compare for a couple moments here. But mine, and this is in no particular order until we get to number one. As you pointed out, I had a similar thought there. Guns N' Roses, got to be on the list. U2 has always been one of my favorite bands since I was a kid and still is. The Police. Love the Police. Yep. They did their reunion tour. I guess it was 06. My sister and I went. It was a great experience to get to see them live after being a fan since a kid and having vinyl records and everything. Number two, Hall & Oates, the most successful duo in rock history.
Right. I thought you might pull out Hall & Oates.
Love Hall & Oates. I've actually got a Hall & Oates box set. I've seen them in concert. Definitely one of my favorites. And then number one, without question for me, is Van Halen.
Okay.
And not Van Hagar either, the David Roth era. I love it in particular. I definitely have respect for Hagar and what he does, but to me, it's not Van Halen. It's not Van Halen. You got to have that original group. So
I'll just say every group y'all have mentioned is certainly in my top 10, top 5 region. I've got some different ones. I got a couple honorable mentions: Aerosmith, Depeche Mode, and Duran Duran, where honorable mentions. But my top 5 and mine, I'll save my number one. But Guns N' Roses, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, love that band. Hall & Oates, NXS, and my number one is the Talking Heads. I love the Talking Heads. So there you go.
Good list.
And I do want to point one more thing out about Van Halen. A tip of the cap to Randy Smith, who cues up a lot of the music, in pregame and everything. The other day, he broke out Mean Street from Van Halen's Fair Warning, which to me is one of my favorite Van Halen records and songs. So when he fired that up, I'm like, yeah, let's go. So anyway.
Randy's proud of his playlist. He does pretty good.
He's got a lot of variety. He's got a lot of 90s stuff in there, but he dips back into the 80s too, but I always enjoy that. All right. Very good stuff.
Awesome. Well, that was a lot of fun, and we're going to have some more fun breaking down this big-time matchup against a cross-county rival. It's Blue Devils versus Tigers on Friday night. We're going to get to the X's and O's of that one when we come back.
Shop for your next car, truck, or SUV at Riverside Auto Group. Check out riversideautogroup.com today to browse their selection or visit with them in person at Riverside Chevrolet GMC in Rome, Riverside Toyota in Rome, and the all-new Riverside GMC Cadillac in Cartersville. Locally owned and operated by the Welburn family since 1974. That's Riverside Auto Group. Visit riversideautogroup.com.
All right, everyone, welcome back to the Coach Grove Show. It's our final segment for the night, and we're going to dive right into this big-time matchup. It's a rivalry week. Model, Darlington, you guys are preparing to play your final home game of the regular season against this cross-county rival team. How would you describe the enthusiasm level, eagerness of the team to get back on the field, coming off a loss? What's the temperature of the Darlington Tigers this week?
Well, one good thing after coming off a tough game against Hurd is you don't have to worry about motivation this week. There's definitely a motivational factor there for multiple things. One, it's the next region game. It's a big region game. It's going to have playoff seeding implications on the line with the win. But also, it's an in-county rivalry. I think everybody considers maybe Darlington Pepperell being Darlington's biggest rival, but if there is a 1A, it's definitely Model. It's definitely Model. So there's all the kids know each other. They've grew up together. Some kids went to elementary school in the Model area. So that's not going to be that's going to be what it is. All right. So then the next thing, what it comes down to, it's homecoming at Darlington. It's homecoming. So my message to the football team, obviously, when homecoming week is all the festivities and all that kind of thing. That's for the alumni and that's for the students to have fun. Our job is to win the football game. Make no mistake about it. Our job is to win the football game so that the students feel good, the alumni feel good, and that you can go to the dance and you can have a fun time at the dance because they're going to want to know, did you win the football game, or ask you why you didn't win the football game at the dance. So in order for us to have a good night, we've got to win the football game. And so that's been the theme this week for us. And so that's what we're going to work. That's what we've been working hard to do. So our kids have been motivated. They've been spirited at practice. I thought we've had a good week of practice and preparation, and we'll be ready for a tough opponent. And so with Model, they're very similar to us, in the fact that they've been battle tested. They played some tough ball games. They played some tight ball games. They played some ball games that went fourth quarter. So I imagine this game is going to be just like that. It's going to be a tough, physical four-quarter game, and it's going to come down to about 3 or 4 plays in key situations on who wins this game. Now, I have a ton of respect for Model. Me and Jeff played together. We grew up together. He does an excellent job. He's got some big linemen. He's got a big roster. He's probably got the best roster in the county right now. And they play good ball. You see them; they're fundamentally sound. And he's going to play his 3-4 defense. He's going to play a lot of quarters coverage. And then on offense, Brent Bell is a great offensive coach. Me and him worked together at Rome. My first couple of years at Rome. He does a great job with his offense. They run a lot of 10, 11 personnel. Power, counter, and zone or what he's going to hang his hat on. He's going to throw screens. They're going to be great at that. And then he does a great job with his trick plays and his special plays. And so we've had a good week, and we've had plenty to prepare for. But I think our kids will be ready to compete, and we'll have a good ball game and see what happens.
Well, Coach, you mentioned, they come in 3-4 overall, 1-2 in region play. You mentioned the tough schedule that they've played, your relationship with Jeff, and how well coached this team is and some of their attributes. But what do you think really stands out about the way these kids compete and what their biggest strengths are, would you say?
Well, on offense, they do a great job of being physical up front. They do. They have good backs that run really hard. They've had a kind of a rotation of quarterbacks, trying to find the right one. I think they've had some injuries there. So, who knows who will get at that position. And then defense, they're just so scrappy. They're always in the right spots. They play good, fundamental, sound, technical defense. And so that's what stands out.
Good deal.
Excellent. Well, who are some of the Blue Devils' key players that jump out on film when you're scouting this team?
Well, I don't think you can go without mentioning quarterbacks. So, quarterback number 10, Jared Terhune, is the one that was the starter earlier in the year. I think he's kind of got banged up a little bit. And then you have number 4, Brant Patch, who's played a lot in the last few weeks. And then, the C.J. Walker kid, number 12, is the one that came in at the end of the Pepperell ball game and drove them down the field. So all of them kind of are a little bit different, bring a little bit different style of play. So who knows what you're going to get? It could be one of 3 of those guys. Running backs, linebacker Colin Watson, number 24, sophomore. I'm very familiar with Colin and his family, but he's a good ball player. Running back 21, linebacker Gage McCorder, had a huge game against Harrelson. I think he ran for about 160 yards against those guys. He's a good ball player. Their fullback, I really like this kid, fullback, H-back number 11, Ridge Hardiker. I think is how you pronounce his name, but he does a great job. He's a very physical kid. They line him up at wide out. He plays some H-back, fullback, and does a good job. And then they got 2 really good linemen, number 75, who plays right tackle, also plays nose guard, Sebastian Castaneda. He's 6'3", about 330 pounds. And then you got, O-lineman Ethan Goggins, plays O-line and D-line, 6'2", 280, and he stands out on film as well. So they've got some good ball players.
Well, Coach, we ask you this every week, but we're curious to know, and I think you kind of talked about this a little bit in the opening segment, some of the things that y'all worked on this week in preparation for this game and what you do every game. But what are the specific keys to success this week in your effort to get back in the win column against, as we mentioned earlier, the final county foe that you guys face in the regular season? Big game coming up. I know it's going to be a great atmosphere, but what you got to do to get the win, Coach?
Well, it's going to be a physical battle, so we've got to win the physical battle if we're going to win the football game. Okay, we've got to win the emotional battle. We can't let the emotions of the game and who we're playing affect outcomes. So we've got to win the physical and emotional battle. We've got to take care of the football, and then we still got to make big plays on special teams to help our offense set up scores.
Excellent. Well, it's been a theme all season. On the road, you've gone Stormtrooper. At home, it's been the traditional white pants, purple jersey, white helmet, the Purple. Paul, it's homecoming. Are you sticking with that trend?
We're going purple on purple this
All
week.
right, it's all purple.
We're going purple on purple, and will these seniors finish their senior year at home in the all purple?
Love it. Love it. Well, it's going to be a heck of an atmosphere at Chris Hunter Stadium. I know there are going to be a lot of alumni there, and the crowd should be electric on both sides. I'm sure the model Blue Devil fans will travel well. So looking forward to a great environment Friday night.
Yep, I'm sure it will be. Be there, be early, be loud. All you Darlington folks, come on back. I know this is the class of 99's reunion year 2, which that means the 98 football team. So a lot of those guys, I grew up with and friends with those guys. So hopefully they'll be there and be in full force. And, maybe get a couple of those guys come out and talk to the team before the game. That'd be great too.
Heck yeah.
Fantastic. Well, Coach, we'll close shop by just as we always do, and thank you for your time. It's always a pleasure to get together with you on Wednesdays at 7 o'clock here at the studios of WLAQ and chat some Tigers football. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you all. Go Tigers.
Go Tigers. And we thank everybody for watching and listening and looking forward to the game. Stay tuned. More coming up. But we're going to wrap up this edition of the Coach Grove Show, and hope you have a great weekend, everybody. We appreciate you.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's edition of the Coach Groves Show. We invite you to join us again next week as we discuss all things Darlington football with head coach Wayne Groves. Go Tigers!
All right. Yes, we are live at Chris Hunter Stadium as we get ready for a showdown in 6AD1 tonight. This is the 8th game of the season for the Darlington Tigers, coming in at 4-3 and 2-1, and hosting tonight the model Blue Devils, who are coming in 3-4 and 1-2. And also, Ian, it's alumni weekend, so there's going to be a lot of folks here on hand for this game tonight. An in-county rivalry. This is the last in-county game for the Darlington Tigers this season, so it's going to be a great environment, great atmosphere. Glad that we're going to be able to be here and witness this special night.
Yeah, absolutely. Cross-county rivalry always brings the fans, and especially on homecoming weekends. So going to be a lot of purple and white clad fans ready to cheer on their Tigers tonight, and this is a pivotal game in the region.
Indeed it is. Of course, we'll talk a little bit of series history in our opening segment here. A little bit later on, we're going to talk about the coaching matchup. Interesting storyline there, of course, that we'll get to, and then we'll talk about some key players for each team. We'll also have the keys to the game. So we've got a lot to cover here in our next 16 minutes before we get to kickoff of this game. But let's talk series history now. Darlington leads the series 23-6. They have won the last 12 in the series. Model's last win of the series was in 1997. Danny Wiseman, the late Danny Wiseman, passed away here recently. He was at the helm of the Blue Devils. The last win they picked up in the series, of course, Jerry Sharp was at Darlington. And, of course, Darlington the very next year would go on to win the state championship there in 1998. And I understand some of those players that were on that team are here tonight in the crowd.
Yeah, that would have been the class of 99, and that's who's being that's the main class being honored this year. So a lot of those guys will be here in the stands tonight. And what a run that was. And it's amazing to think it's been that long since Model scored a victory in this series.
Truly is, and I know a lot of people that were around during that period of time have a lot of fond memories of those days and things of that nature. And I know that, of course, Steve Conrad, who's probably watching the live stream tonight or maybe listening on the radio coverage, however he's partaking in the broadcast tonight, I know he talked about it often when I broadcast the games with him because he was obviously at the game. So it was a very special time. We were proud to have that game on WLAQ that day.
Yeah,
So it's good stuff.
Absolutely.
All right, well, let's see. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to continue our pregame festivities here on the broadcast by talking about the coaching matchup, some key players. But we just want to invite you into the broadcast and start to set the stage for tonight's game between your Darlington Tigers and the Model Blue Devils here on Alumni Weekend. We'll be back from Chris Hunter Stadium after a 2.5-minute break.
Coosa Steel is a family-owned full-line steel service center located in Rome, Georgia. Since 1972, we've been working to make our customers more efficient by providing steel product supply and processing all in one place. We are proud to provide a large range of products, including hot-rolled and cold-finished steel, stainless steel, galvanized steel, aluminum, and alloys. Our capabilities enable us to assemble and process steel orders within days, shortening your lead time. Coosa Steel. Steel for your project.
My name is Ryan Somerville. I am the sales manager for Business Water Solutions. We do water purification coolers as well as ice machines for any size business. We're on campus right now at Darlington School. Super happy to be here. They're one of our biggest customers. I myself played sports here. Our two founders played sports here. It was absolutely our pleasure to be a sponsor for Darlington Athletics. I think one thing that really sets us apart is our water purification. There's 13 stages. The reverse osmosis part of it has been a huge part of our success, along with our 24-hour guarantee for service calls. So when a customer does call us, we're then guaranteed within 24 hours. We were able to provide a touchless water system to make it more COVID-friendly in terms of germs and touching the water system. One thing I always say is we're not selling a product, we're selling our service. That's what we really push for every single day, is to have a customer service experience like they've never had before.
At Rome Orthopedic Center, we salute students, freshmen and seniors, athletes and artists, first stringers and choral singers, band majors and game changers. We hope you never need orthopedic care, but if you do, choose the only practice in the Rome area solely dedicated to the orthopedic needs of the students and families in our community. Rome Orthopedic Center. To make an appointment, call 706-292-0040.
Welcome you back live here to Chris Hunter Stadium. Darlington Tigers and Model Blue Devils locking horns in about 12 minutes. Cannot wait for this football game. It's going to be a tremendous amount of fun here for Game 8. Let's talk about the last game for the Tigers, Ian. The Tigers put up a really competitive fight against a really strong Heard County squad that's now the front runner in 6A D1. Tigers trailed by 2, 21-19 at the half, but turnovers, penalties, and difficulties containing Heard's quarterback Ethan Tisdale led to a really explosive third quarter for the Braves. Scored a few touchdowns there with their quarterback running it into the end zone. The Tigers worked towards mounting a fourth quarter comeback, but the game was out of reach and resulted in a 48-27 loss for the home team. So obviously they went back to the drawing board throughout practice this week, and really the biggest thing is still trying to clean up those turnovers.
Yeah, absolutely. Turnovers really came back to bite them last week, Matt.
And here is the invocation, and we'll have the national anthem. So we'll go ahead and turn the crowd mic up for you.
Come before you tonight, grateful for the opportunity to compete. We ask that you keep both teams safe and free from injury. Be with the coaches, the fans, the cheerleaders, and the band members. May all display great character and sportsmanship. Bless this game, and may we give you all the glory. We ask this in Jesus' name, amen.
Our national anthem tonight will be brought to us by the Darlington Stadium Band under the able direction of Damon Harvey.
A job well done by the Darlington Stadium Band there, and now we'll jump back into our conversation about tonight's matchup. And Ian, in this segment, we're going to talk about the coaching matchup. Let's start with the Darlington Tigers and head coach Wayne Groves.
That's right. Wayne Groves is in his second season as head coach, 6-5 last year with a playoff appearance. Groves started his career as a head coach, now 10-8. After last week, he's the former defensive coordinator for John Reed at Rome. 3 times during his tenure there, Groves led the #1 defense in the state. Prior to his work at Rome, he was the D coordinator at Valdosta High School, a pretty reputable program there as well, where his 2014 defensive unit was ranked #1 in points allowed. So Groves has a pedigree of coaching top-notch defense. Now he's putting his stamp on this Darlington program, taking over for Tommy Atha, and almost getting ready to tie a bow on his second season, if you can believe it.
And we should also throw in there, avid appreciator of 80s pop culture.
That's
We've
right.
been learning a lot
That's
about that on the Coach Groves Show the last couple of weeks, and we've really got a kick out of that. And the conversation's actually continued outside of the show. We've kind of been texting back and forth on a chain and thinking about things that we left out in terms of bands and movies and that kind of stuff, which has been kind of fun. But, man.
I know. He brought up Dire Straits. Mark Knopfler is one of my favorite guitarists. He's fantastic.
Me too. Tone to the bone with the way he plays that guitar. There's no question about that. Well, let's talk about the head coach for the model Blue Devils. Of course, these two guys know each other because they played together back when they were at Pepperell. I know that Coach Groves is a couple of years younger than Jeff Honeycutt, but Jeff Honeycutt, the coach of the Blue Devils, in his 6th season at the helm of the Blue Devils, spent time as an assistant on Joey King's staff at Cartersville just before taking on his current role at Model. Prior to that, Honeycutt spent 11 years teaching and coaching at both Coosa and Pepperell at different periods and serving as the defensive coordinator at both of those schools. He also was an assistant coach at Hiram and Cedartown, graduated from Pepperell in 1996, was a standout player, and then went on to play college football, had a great career at Tennessee Tech. The guy knows how to coach a football team. It's in his blood.
Yeah, absolutely. And oddly enough, these two gentlemen, there was a little crossover with Jeff being a little older than Wayne, but at one point they played together when they were at Pepperell.
That's exactly right, and both just great guys, and I know that they're friends, but tonight they're going to be coaching to try to beat each other, so there's no question about that. Well, let's talk about some key players, Ian. We'll start with the Darlington Tigers.
Yeah, absolutely. When you talk Darlington, you got to talk about their senior quarterback, Sammy Konchesky. He also starts at safety and plays all over the field, over 100 snaps a game. The offense runs through him, obviously, as he makes the decisions on whether to pull or pitch or keep it. I mean, it all runs through Sammy, and he is an absolute warrior out there. He's a guy who can shake off a bad play and go out and win you the game on the next. So you've got to keep your eye on Konchesky. Miles Twyman, the B-back for this Darlington offense, also a defensive back as well. But that dive play, those tough yards between the tackles, That's Miles Twyman. He's also the long snapper, so doing a little bit of everything like most of these Tigers. And then we're going to talk about Sammy's little brother Nate this week. He is, he was the black shirt on offense last week for his blocking, is what Coach Groves pointed out to us, is that he was out there taking on bigger guys from Heard County and doing his job well, and he wanted to recognize that those little things that open the holes for guys like Jace Donaldson and Sammy Koncheski. So Nate is one to keep an eye on, number 5, the little brother. We've seen them connect on some pretty big passes this year and last year.
And also want to point out last week's Honeymoon Bakery icing on the cake player of the game. Jace Donaldson had a couple of touchdowns as well as one that was called back due to a penalty. He's a threat to make a big play on every single time that the ball's in his hands. Plus, major contributor on defense as well. Had 10 tackles last week, including 8 solo, 2 assists. In addition, had 2 pass breakups, an extra point block, and forced a fumble. So, and that's one of the things you could say for all these young men on this Darlington team is they got to make things happen on both sides of the ball and special teams. A lot of them are out there on every play.
Absolutely, yeah. Stat sheet stuffer kind of night for Jace Donaldson last week. And you've got that mentality from all of these Tigers, that's for sure. Groves has got them bought in.
Let's talk about some Blue Devils. Of course, I would have had their quarterback in the key players to the game here, but we didn't know who it was going to be because they've had 3 guys that have taken some snaps at quarterback. I know Jared Terhune has been their starter for the most part of the seasons. He's been a little bit banged up, so you've seen some other guys, Brant Patch at the starting quarterback position, but I believe tonight it may be C.J. Walker. He led a big drive in the game against Pepperell, even though they came up short in that game. They have a lot of confidence in him, so they got 3 guys that they potentially can go to at that position.
Yes, they do, and he connected with Bryson Bell for the equalizer, or what they hoped was going to be the equalizer, and then the extra point was no good, and they fell a point short to Pepperell last week. But yeah, C.J. Walker and Jared Terhune are guys that can go out there and beat you with their legs or their arms, so Darlington's going to have to be ready, and Coach Groves made it apparent to us when we talked to him that they were preparing for all 3.
Indeed. Of course, other players here we'll talk about for the Model Blue Devils. Number 21, Gage McCorder, running back and linebacker. He's a senior, had around 160 yards in the game at Haralson County. He can tote the mail for him. Number 11, Ridge Hardiker. Coach Groves describes him as a very physical kid that they'll line up in a variety of ways, wide receiver, H-back, as well as fullback. Really good player. And then a big kid, man, number 75, Sebastian Castaneda. He's an offensive and defensive lineman and a force at 6'3" and over 300 pounds at the line of scrimmage. He's a load.
Big eater, getting after it out there. That's going to be fun to watch.
Here are your captains for tonight. We'll start with your Darlington Tigers. Number 72, Stephen Moore. Number 23, Noah Duggan. Also out there is number 57, Sam 20, and number 2, Sammy Koncheski. And for the Model Blue Devils captains tonight, number 58, it looks like Maddox Wilbanks. Is that who that is? Number 21, Gage McCorder. We just talked about him. And then also out there is going to be number 15. That's Isaac Twilley. He is a senior. So that's your captains. And we're about to have the coin toss and get things going.
Yeah, we are, and we'll have to keep a close eye on it. One thing we do want to point out to our Tigers fans at home, if you're here, then you're looking on the sidelines right now and you're seeing one of the leaders of this Darlington team not in pads. That's number 18. We call him the Minister of Mayhem, Henry Ledbetter. He's had a heck of a season. He's not playing tonight, and the Tigers will have to fill some rather large shoes there.
That was definitely one of the things that was a buzz around the stadium in pregame. People were asking whether or not he was going to play, but as you mentioned, not in pads. It's very clear that we're not going to see him tonight, and that's a huge loss, but at the same time, he's one of those guys that whether he's on the field or not, he's going to be a leader for this team tonight and definitely will be making a contribution by pumping up his guys on the sidelines. There's no doubt about that.
Absolutely.
All right, we've got the coin toss going right now, and we're about to find out the results of that.
Darlington won, it looks like.
Okay, so Darlington wins the toss, and what is the decision that is going to be made?
Bet they're kicking.
They're going to kick this thing off.
Yes, they have deferred. The Model faithful.
Oh, they're going to receive.
Oh, wow. Yeah. All right, they want the ball.
And they made the same decision last week as well, so the Tigers won the toss and will receive the opening kickoff of the football game. Let's go ahead and take a quick 1-minute break. We'll come back with the keys to the game, and we'll get everybody lined up and ready to play some football. It's the Darlington Tigers and the Model Blue Devils coming up in just about a minute. We'll be right back on WLAQ and the live stream. underway. The Darlington Tigers going to bring out the opening kickoff. Sammy Koncheski fields it. He's down the sidelines. He's almost across midfield, shakes off a tackle, and the Darlington Tigers offense is going to set up shop right around midfield end. Look at that. A heck of a way to start the game and set the tone.
We talked about Sammy Koncheski as one of the players to watch for the Darlington Tigers, and on the opening kickoff, he springs one out and takes it all the way to midfield, where the Tigers will set up with great field position to start their first drive.
Indeed they will, and we apologize if you missed the opening of that. I thought that I called for a 1 minute break, but we got a little extra, so I apologize for that. I probably shouldn't have taken a break that close to the kickoff of the game, so I didn't mean to throw everybody off there, but we're underway. The Darlington Tigers have the football with 11:51 left to go in the first quarter, and they've got it 2 yards shy of the middle of the field. Sammy Koncheski lines up under center, getting ready to take the snaps. Got the ball, turns, is going to hand it off. They try to go up the gut there with that B-back dive and maybe pick up a couple of hard yards there for Miles Twyman.
Yeah, go to the dive play. Model has got some big hosses on that defensive line, and they have a reputation for playing stingy defense. They've done it all season, but that said, they got about 3 yards there when it was all said and done.
So Sammy lines up under center. That's going to bring up 2nd down and 7 after 3 hard yards there. Everybody is in tight here for the formation. Koncheski ready to take the snap. He's got it, turns, is going to fake the handoff. There's the pitch. Oh, a little bit of an adventure, but Jace Donaldson hauls it in. Not much doing there, but they avoided the turnover. That could have been a disaster.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, when you're running this option play, that ball is in the air, and there is a lot of opportunity for it to be bobbled or knocked loose as you're receiving it, and it's been something that's plagued the Tigers all season. That time Donaldson was able to really keep his concentration after contact and bring that thing in, avoid the turnover, and maybe pick up a yard.
So the ball's at the 48-yard line, 3rd down and 7. Quarterback under center takes the snap. There's the quick pitch, gets it over to Bodie Powers, finds some room, and gets a good chunk of yards. I believe he has the first down there.
I thought he had the first down. The spot looks, on the far side, officials got it really close. He's going to be 4th down.
Going to be about a yard short.
Yeah, I thought he made it well past the line to gain.
Oh, I thought it was a sure thing, to be honest with you, but my eyes must have deceived me there. But that means it's going to be 4th and 1. It looks like
that was a bad spot.
Tigers are going to go for it here. Quarterback rolls under center. Everybody's going to be in tight. Sammy ready to take the snap. Man motions off to the left. Looked like initially maybe trying to draw him off sides, but they didn't take the bait.
And they may still be just trying to draw him off sides. We'll see.
Koncheski rolls up under center, and he'll take the snap. Turns the give to Miles. He pounds through, gets the first down and then some, and a conversion on 4th down.
Just went with the dive play there, Matt. Let Miles Twyman do his thing. It's hard to stop him for a no gain or a loss. He's just such a bulldozer. He got his legs churning there and picked up more than enough for that first down.
So the Tigers will roll up under center here for 1st and 10. Everybody's in tight. Base formation, there's the snap. Quarterback's going to pitch. This time they're going to go to Jace Donaldson, who finds some room. A nice seam is inside the 20, spins around for a couple extra yards and gets down to about the 15 before they reel him out of bounds. Another big play for Jace.
Yeah, that time, that pitch was more like a pitch play. There is a flag on the play, Matt, so we'll see what that's going to be.
It's going to be he already signaled a hold.
Okay.
So this one's coming back.
That will negate a really great run by Donaldson.
We weren't able to get to our keys to the game, so we'll run them down real quick while they march off the penalty yards. Number 1, protect the football. Of course, Coach Groves talked about that a lot in the pregame show. Number 2, win the physical battle. You got rivals playing. Both of these are hard-nosed coaches, hard-nosed teams. It's going to be physical. You got to win that battle. And Ian, maintain composure is number 3.
Yeah. When there's emotions like this, it's things get chippy down there. And you don't want to make the stupid penalties that can cost your team a football game. And, as it has been all season, and we've heard Coach Groves say it time and time again, we're practicing this. We're working on it. The ball security is absolutely number 1, and hopefully the Tigers can avoid that turnover bug tonight.
Ball's at the 40-yard line here for first down. They get ready to snap the ball after the holding penalty. Sammy's under center, ready to take the snap. He's got the ball, fakes the pitch, hands it off, goes to Jace Donaldson, and the play goes the other way. He's able to get a few yards there.
Yeah, faking the pitch there, that little trap play to Donaldson. Gets the defense looking one way, and then Donaldson comes underneath. Twyman seals it, and there was a little crease there, but pretty good defense from Model, as it was A.J. Adams that had the tackle there, along with Colin Watson.
This time the Tigers are going to line up with a wide receiver split to the near side. That's Nate Konchesky. Talked about him as one of the key players tonight. There's a snap. The handoff was going to Twyman, but a flag came in.
False start, I think.
You are correct, sir.
Penalties biting the Tigers on this first drive. This is their second one.
Drive started at the Darlington 48-yard line after a big kickoff return from Sammy Konchesky. Yep. Got the fans going early in this one, Ian.
Yes, it did. And now they'll be back at 2nd and 13.
Beautiful night for a football game at kickoff. It was about 65 degrees. By the time we get done, we're going to be about 50 degrees, Ian. It's football weather.
It is football weather. Fall is finally here.
I mean, it's week 8, so you feel like it should be, but, you know, takes a while to get there here in the southeast.
It does.
Sammy under center. Got second down and 13 coming up on this play. Man motions off to the right. There's the snap. Going to be a quick pitch to Miles Twyman. He cuts back towards the near side, being chased around in the backfield. Turns on the jets, breaks a tackle, gets down to the 32-yard line. So a good pickup for the Tigers, setting up what could be third and manageable.
We don't get to see Miles Twyman take a pitch very often. He's usually just taking that dive. But that time they went with a little sweep to the far side of the field. Twyman was sealed off and reversed his field, bounced it back. And the thing about Twyman, he's a physical runner, but he has great speed and quickness as well. And that time he was able, when you reverse field, it's a little, you're playing with fire, but Twyman did a great job there and picked up 8 yards.
So Sammy rolls up under center for 3rd down and 5 with the ball now at the 34-yard line in Model territory. There's the snap. Going to go play action, puts the ball in the air a little bit wobbly. He's open. Nate Konchesky grabs it and goes into the end zone. Touchdown, Darlington Tigers. 34-yard pass to pay dirt. Some brotherly love here early in the game, and the Tigers strike first.
Brother to brother, Konchesky to Konchesky. That's the thing is, with this option offense, it'll get your eyes in the backfield, and the Tigers lulled them to sleep a little bit there, and Konchesky slips right down the middle of the field, gets behind the defense. His brother puts the ball right on the money. It was an over-the-shoulder basket catch from Konchesky, and then he rumbled into the end zone, and the Tigers draw first blood here in this rivalry matchup on their first drive.
Here's Ade DeSalu to try to tack on the extra point, and it is up. And it is good. 7-0 Darlington Tigers. 7:45 left to go in the opening quarter of play. So the Tigers win the toss. They elect to take the ball and set the tone on offense. And I would say that they've done just that on that first drive.
Yeah, absolutely. It all started with that kickoff return. Sammy Konchesky taking it out to the Darlington 48 on the opening kick. Big 4th down conversion. There were a few penalties there that put the Tigers behind the chains. But as they've done all season, when something bad happens, they just scrap right through it. Not sure what's going on here. A little discussion after the extra point. We'll see, Matt. I didn't see anything.
We'll get an explanation on that in just a couple of moments. But
it looks like we're kicking again, though.
Yes, it does. It looks like Ade will have to swing a leg at it one more time in just a moment. Well, you're either listening to on the radio WLAQ coverage of Darlington football or watching on a live stream produced by Northwest Georgia Media and presented on the Darlington School social media channels and YouTube channel. And however you're with us today, we're always glad to have you. So much fun to have the opportunity to bring you these games and be a part of this team that puts together the broadcast. So a really nice privilege that we have on Friday nights throughout the football season. Such a pleasure.
There we go. DeSalu will be backed up a little bit for this extra point attempt.
So right now the scoreboard is 6-0, but let's see if Ade can get this one from 5 yards out, a little further out, and that one has got plenty of leg, and it is right through. So the score moves to 7-0. A little more adventure tacked on there at the end, but he got the point, and the Tigers lead at 7-0 with 7:45 left first quarter.
Yeah, and setting the tone here on homecoming at Chris Hunter Stadium. The Tigers march it right down the field, 52 yards, and get the score.
Again, this is the 8th game of the year for the Darlington Tigers. They'll have 2 more after this in the regular season. This is the last home game of the year, though, in the regular season. Going to have to hit the road, heading to Bremen and Temple for the last 2 games. So you're right. This is the last time this team will play in front of the home crowd unless they're able to move up in terms of what the seating looks like from the projections right now and get a home game in the playoffs.
And who knows, a win tonight will go a long way in that. And they've got a game, I think, that is winnable on the road against the Bremen Blue Devils. They'll certainly be an underdog against a really red-hot, high-scoring Temple Tiger team, but I don't count these Tigers out of any game. If they play their best football, I think they can hang with anybody.
So DeSalu to kick the ball off here for the Tigers. It's going to be end over end. A couple of men back here for the Model Blue Devils to try to bring it out. They'll go up the middle of the field and get it out to about the 20-yard line, so average field position. The return man there for the Blue Devils that time was Rip West.
Tigers did a good job not giving Rip any seams to run through there. Really good coverage, good hang time on that kick from Ade.
So it looks like the 22-yard line is where the Blue Devils are going to start their first drive of the football game, trailing 7-0 to your Darlington Tigers. Model's going to be working from left to right on your radio dial if you happen to be following the game in that manner. Model's going to line up a little bit more of a spread formation, going to have a couple of receivers off to the far side, one on the near. So the Blue Devils will get ready to line up, and who they got at quarterback?
CJ Walker. Yeah.
So C.J. Walker gets the start tonight. They've had 3 different quarterbacks start for this model team this year. Jared Terhune's had the most action. Then you have Brant Patch, but tonight they're going with C.J., who led them to a big scoring drive in the game against Pepperell last week. There's the snap, going to hand it off. They'll run it to the near side, get it about 4 yards before they bring him down. Ball carrier on that first play was number 21. That's going to be Gage McWhorter. I suspect we'll call his name a few times tonight.
Yeah, man, McWhorter is a workhorse for this offense. And that was Sammy Kacheski came up, filled the gap there with a couple of his teammates having partnering on that tackle as well.
Bryson Bell split wide to the near side here for this formation as C.J. Walker lines him up in a gun with 3 wide receivers on the far side. There's the snap to Walker. He's going to the left side, and he is going to stay up, cuts up towards the middle, and he's going to be stopped. Not much doing on that play.
No, absolutely not.
I think that was a snap. That was to Colin Watson, wasn't it?
We'll check it on the replay here. Yeah, it was.
Colin
Watson.
Watson.
Indeed.
Yeah. So a little different wrinkle early in the game in this one, a direct snap on the Wildcat to Colin Watson, who was one of their running backs.
And Bryson Jones, who've been dealing with some strep throat-like symptoms, is out there playing well. Him and Noah Duggan got that tackle.
So C.J. Walker will take the snap this time. He's rolling to the near side, looking downfield, and he's going to have company in the backfield, hauled in and sacked. A couple of Tigers got in there. Evan Parton came out looking real fired up after the play.
Evan Parton, Bryson Jones, Jaron Payne all over there, but Parton was the first one to get to him. Walker rolled out to his left, was hoping to get somebody downfield. Jared Payne taking on 3 blockers, and then Parton came from all the way across the field to wrangle him in and get the sack. Jones was there as well. But a 3-and-out to start here, and the Darlington defense without one of their energy guys and Henry Ledbetter looking pretty tough.
Kevin Espinoza to punt it away here for the Blue Devils. There's the kick, gets some pretty decent air under it, and that drops in at the 34. Fair catch is signaled by Jace Donaldson. So good field position for the Tigers after they forced the 3-and-out.
That was a booming punt there from Espinoza. I was watching him kick in warm-ups. He's got a good leg. Nice spiral, long kick. Donaldson fields it, fair catches it, and the Tigers will start this drive at their own 33 3-yard line.
And one of the troubles that this model team has had this year, they've played really good defense throughout the season, but they've had a hard time finding consistency on offense.
Yeah.
They have not scored a lot of points this year.
It's a young team. It's a really young team. A lot of sophomores on this team, and they're kind of finding their identity on offense. But like you would expect from any Jeff Honeycutt team, this defense is salty and going to keep them in football games.
Tigers under center for 1st and 10. They're going to start at their 33-yard line. We'll run it up the middle. And that's going to be Noah Duggan.
Yeah.
Picks up a good 5 yards there on that first down play.
Yeah, Twyman was over on the trainer's table working on his shoe. Looked like he was having an equipment problem, not an injury. But Duggan will come in and play that B-back and did a good job there. 5 yards on first down.
So 2nd and 5, the ball's at the 38-yard line for the Tigers, working right to left, leading at 7-0. Second drive of the game here for the Tigers. Going to have wide receivers, one on each side. Konchesky ready to take the snap. He's got the ball, fakes the handoff up the middle. There's the pitch, goes to Bodie Powers, stays up and gets about 8 yards. And big play, Bodie Powers comes up with another first down.
Bodie with a little gesture to the model sideline after that run. We said emotions were going to be a part of this ball game. Of course, Bodie is the grandson of the great Gordon Powers, who was here last week as I was out of town calling the ball game. So he's got ties to that model community.
No question about that. All right, folks, this is 1st and 10 for the Tigers. Ball at the 46-yard line, trying to work it into model territory, going from right to left. Darlington in their purple breeches, also jerseys, white helmets. There's a pitch that's going to go to Jace Donaldson, and he's able to stay up, shakes a couple of tackles, gets down to about the 41-yard line. So that'll be another Tigers first down.
And that was a lot of that was Jace Donaldson, man. He took the pitch there. That was pretty well defended, but his ability to shake and move out there on the perimeter, he put his foot in the ground, cut back to his left, and then pulled a little spin move, shaking about 2 other model defenders and getting an extra 3 to 4 yards.
So that brings up 1st and 10 now. The Tigers are in model territory. They're going to line up with everybody in tight. Konchesky is lined up near the slot here on the near side. Sammy Konchesky under center takes the snap, and that's going to be a penalty.
Yeah, 2 guys move. So, Matt, other than the penalties, and there have been a few now that have put Darlington behind the chain, this offense looks really crisp so far in this first quarter.
Indeed, and as good as Darlington's been and some of the comebacks that we've seen this year and excitement, I do not think we've seen the Tigers play their best football game of the year yet.
No, absolutely not. I'd say, Ridgeland, but Ridgeland was outmanned in that game for sure. But as far as their most complete up to this point, I still think they can outperform that effort.
I think so too.
Yeah,
and that's a compliment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Sammy Konchesky's going to be under center. Everybody's in tight here for 1st and 15. There's a snap, going to fake the handoff. Sammy's going to run it, stays up, gets inside the 35. They haul him in. So that's a big pickup and really helps them out after the penalty yards, Ian.
Yeah, Konchesky pulls and keeps there, going off tackle to the left side. And he gets the penalty yardage back and then some. And that's been a theme so far tonight. The Tigers have racked up 4 penalties so far, but each time they've been able to get that yardage back on the next play.
Going to have Trenton Moore as a wide receiver on the far side. On the near side's Nate Konchesky here for 2nd and 3 coming up. Konchesky under center, takes the snaps, going to fake the handoff, rolls back, looking to throw, puts some air under it. It's got an open man. Oh, that was actually almost intercepted. Did he get it?
They're going to call it incomplete. He caught it.
Wow.
But I think it was in the back of the end zone, and that was number 19, Lane Holtzendorf there. Sammy took a shot trying to find his brother Nate again in the back of the end zone. Put a lot of air under this one, and it was double coverage. Oh, it bounced. Okay, I didn't see the ball bounce. But, yeah, it hit the turf before Holtzendorf got his hands on it. But a risky throw there almost paid off. Konchesky almost reeled it in. But that'll leave the Tigers with the 3rd and 3.
So Konchesky lines him up under center. This time everybody's going to be in tight. Man motions to the left. There's the snap, and that's going to be down right at the line of scrimmage. They got it to Bodie Powers.
They're kind of in no man's land here, Matt, at the 35. You could always elect to drop back and do the quarterback kick. but I think the Tigers will probably go for it.
I think so.
Yeah.
And right now, every indication is that they're going to do just that. 2:30 left to go in the first quarter. Darlington leads at 7-0. This is 4th down and a long 3. Ball is at the 35-yard line. Tigers are on the Blue Devils side of the field, leading this game 7-0. It's been a quick first quarter. This is the 3rd possession, 2nd for Darlington. There's the snap, going to pitch it, gets it to Jace Donaldson, trying to get him some space, stays up, takes a heavy hit at about the 30-yard line, but that would be enough to get the first down.
Yeah, it looked like he was hemmed up once again, but he used the old PlayStation square button spin move there, putting his right foot in the ground and spinning back across his body as he took it off the left-hand side there. Just a nice move by Jace. That spin move allowed him to pick up the first down.
And Colin Watson came in and lowered the boom there at the end of the play to bring him down. For the Blue Devils.
So far, Darlington 2 for 2 on 4th down conversions.
1st and 10 for the Darlington Tigers. Ball at the 30-yard line on Model side of the field. There's the snap. Quarterback's going to keep it. Sammy Konchesky stays up, carries a couple of guys inside the 20. So this will be a red zone possession for the Tigers. Yeah. They got another first down.
They sure did. Right now, just great execution there as Konchesky decided to pull and run to his right. He didn't meet any resistance till he was 6 yards down the field. Then he put his shoulder in and dragged 3 Blue Devils defenders forward as he picked up another Tiger first down.
So 1st and 10 for the Tigers with the ball, nose of it right at the 20-yard line. Sammy getting ready to take the snap. He's got it. It's going to turn, hands it off, goes to Miles Twyman, goes up the middle, and gets about 5 hard yards.
Miles just grinding it out there on the dive play. Miles coming up a little bit gimpy. He's got a little hitch in his giddy up. So maybe it wasn't just an equipment issue that they were looking at. But he remains on the field.
Fans getting into a "We Will Rock You" chant, stomping their feet as the Tigers try to punch one in. Sammy under center, 2nd down and 5. Ball at the 15. There's the snaps. Going to turn, hands it off to Miles. We got another flag that comes in. We've seen a lot of hanky so far in the first quarter of the game.
Start, and they've all been on Darlington. I think that's the 6th flag of the game.
We got 29.9 seconds left here in the first quarter with the Tigers leading this one 7-0. We'll give you some scores when we get to halftime. Got a long way. Well, we'll give them to you throughout the course of the game. There's a lot of big games going on tonight.
Yeah, one particular over in Polk County that I think a lot of people are wondering about.
So the ball's now at the 20 after the 5-yard penalty. 19 seconds on the clock, 13 on the play clock. It's rolling. 2 wide receivers on the far side for this play. Sammy getting ready to take the snap. He rolls out looking to pass. There's a screen pass. They get it to Miles Twyman. Shakes off a tackle. Tries to juke towards the left side. He's brought down. Flag comes in. We'll check on that.
Yeah. Now this could be a hold. It could be a block in the back. It could be a face mask. So we will see what they end up calling. Tried to set up the screen. Well defended there by the Blue Devils.
Officials have a conversation about it. Here comes the ruling.
Yep, it's going against Darlington. Another penalty against the Tigers.
How many is that so far? 6 or 7?
I think that's 7 penalties. Yeah. I didn't write down the yardage, but if you count the one on the extra point, 7 penalties.
Going to have some college football for you tomorrow on the airwaves of WLAQ. The Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets will take on the Notre Dame Fighting Irish at Mercedes-Benz. Sans Haynes King, their quarterback.
Yeah, hate to see Haynes not out there. Yeah, I really felt, and they round the clock, Matt, so that's the end of the first quarter.
All right, we'll take a break. More on that later. Darlington Tigers up 7-0. They'll flip sides of the field and have 2nd and 20 from the 30-yard line coming up in just a minute. We'll be back in 1 minute.
My name is Ryan Somerville. I am the sales manager for Business Water Solutions. We do water purification coolers as well as ice machines for any size business. We're on campus right now at Darlington School. Super happy to be here. They're one of our biggest customers. I myself played sports here. Our 2 founders played sports here. It was absolutely our pleasure to be a sponsor for Darlington Athletics. I think one thing that really sets us apart is our water purification. There's 13 stages. The reverse osmosis part of it has been a huge part of our success, along with our 24-hour guarantee for service calls. So when a customer does call us, we're guaranteed within 24 hours. We were able to provide a touchless water system to make it more COVID-friendly in terms of germs and touching the water system. One thing I always say is we're not selling a product, we're selling our service. That's what we really push for every single day, is to have a customer service experience like they've never had before.
Welcome you back live inside the friendly confines of Chris Hunter Stadium. Darlington football for you on the live stream and also live on WLAQ radio tonight. I'm Matt Davis alongside Ian Griffin to bring you the call. Lynn Butler back at the studio, and we'll give you the whole video crew and who all they are coming up in just a little bit. But we're about to get back to some football. They've flipped sides of the field, so now Darlington is working from left to right on your radio dial. And so they will roll up under center here for 2nd down and 20 from the 30-yard line. As we've mentioned, definitely part of the story so far in this game has been a lot of penalties. A lot of penalty flags against the Darlington Tigers.
Yeah, they've been plaguing them in this in that first quarter. I mean, absolutely. 7 penalties to the tune of over 50 yards. But 2nd and 20, they've seemed to overcome them so far. Can they do it again?
Big crowd on hand tonight. Obviously, it's alumni weekend, so tons of festivities taking place over the course of the weekend. I know that alum really look forward to that every year. It's a big deal here at Darlington School. Konchesky under center. He's going to take the snap, fakes the handoff. Here comes the pitch. It's in the hands of Bodie Powers. He stays up, gets knocked out of bounds at what looks to be about the 24-yard line. So that'll be about a 6-yard pickup, I presume.
Yeah, pretty well defended there by the model defenses. They pursued that sideline to sideline very well.
That brings up 3rd down and 13 here for the Darlington Tigers. So going to try to dial up a big play here, move the chains. Going to send Nate Konchesky off to the far side. Here on the near side is going to be Trenton Moore. Everybody else is going to be in that base formation. Miles Twyman into that B-back position right behind Sammy Konchesky here for 3rd and 13. There's the snap. They're going to pitch it, get it to Jace Donaldson, find some room on the edge, scoots down the sidelines. It goes out of bounds at about the 6-yard line, so a 1st down, and it's going to be 1st and goal for the Tigers.
So the trend continues. Darlington commits penalties, gets way behind the chains, and then pretty effortlessly has found a way to move the chains and keep the drive going as this sets them up 1st and goal down at the 6-yard line.
So the Tigers roll up to the line of scrimmage, going to send Nate Konchesky as a wide receiver to the near side. Otherwise, base formation here. That double slot back formation with B-back in there. That's Miles Twyman going to fake the handoff. Quarterback's going to run and follow him down to the goal line. And he gets stopped, but as you mentioned, another flag comes in.
Yeah. False start. Backing them up. Oh, I cannot imagine the angst on the sidelines.
Was that 9 or 8 or 9?
That's 8.
So 11:38 left to go here in the first half. Darlington leads at 7-0. They started this drive with 5 minutes and 37 seconds left of the first quarter of the football game. So this is a really nice long drive.
It is. Absolutely. Marred by the yellow laundry on the field.
Indeed. And as you mentioned, something they've so far been able to overcome, but definitely not an ideal situation as far as that's concerned. Sammy under center, 2 wide receivers, 1 on each side. There's the snap, going to fake the handoff. There's the pitch to Bodie Powers. He scoots down towards the end zone, and he is in. Big play, Bodie, with the run for the touchdown. The Tigers strike again.
Yes, they do. The pitch play from the 11-yard line. Bodie Powers gets out, has some blockers in front, is able to put his foot in the ground, cut back to the left, and power his way into the end zone for Darlington's 2nd touchdown of the night. And despite 8 penalties for over 60 yards. Thus far in the ballgame, the Tigers have continued to find a way to overcome it, move the chains, and are just clicking as far as making the right decisions and the right plays and just executing in every facet of this triple option attack.
Ade DeSalu trots out onto the field, and he will attempt the extra point, see if I can make this a 14-0 game with 11:26 left to go here in the first half of play. But so far, so good on the first couple of drives for the Darlington Tigers. Obviously, the penalties you certainly want to clean up, but they've been able to finish the first 2 drives with points, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, impressive that they've been able to overcome it. Not a surprise by any means. We've seen it all season, whether it's penalties or turnovers or injuries or calls that haven't necessarily gone their way. The Tigers are certainly able to just shake it off and move on to the next play.
And they've had the ball overwhelmingly the majority of the time.
Yeah.
Model went 3 and out their only drive, and so they only had the ball for just a matter of seconds, and Darlington's had it the whole way.
Yeah.
Nice, long, methodical drives there, especially that last one. Here comes the kick, and that one is going to be through the upright, so it's 14-0.
Okay, no flags.
No flags. Yeah, make sure to check on that.
Well, Matt, a capacity crowd as you would expect on homecoming here at Chris Hunter Stadium.
And not just on this side.
Yeah,
I mean, look at the crowd for the Model Blue Devils. Obviously, they are very big supporters of their athletic programs, and they're here in mass. So this is exactly the kind of atmosphere that you want to have. And, man, look at that moon.
Yeah. Super moon is what we've got these next few days, I think. So
I hesitate when I start to describe what types of moon it is, because there's a lot of smart people that pay attention to the Darlington stuff. And
I won't tell you what a super moon is. I just read that it's a super moon.
I'm definitely not any kind of scientist or anything of that nature.
Astrology is not your second.
No,
you didn't minor in astrology.
Now my sister, she probably could tell you a few things about that.
Yeah,
She's
Elizabeth
really
is she's well studied.
Now when they start firing up the rock and roll, now we can talk.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I might
culture,
just be the doctor
sports,
of rock and roll.
Yeah,
I've been called that before. And
absolutely. Now, have you had the chance to go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland?
I have not. I would like to do that, though. Certainly is on the list of things to do.
You need to make that trip. Go catch you a Guardians game. I'm still getting used to calling them the Guardians, but, maybe catch the Browns. Who knows?
There you go. Here comes Ade DeSalu with the kick, and it's going to be brought out from about the 35-yard line, and that's Watson who's got it, brings it out to about the 50-yard line. And that's where he's going to be brought down. So good field position for Model.
That kick was from the 25. So was there a penalty? There must have been. There must have been another penalty that backed Darlington up there, because DeSalu kicked that from the 25. Interesting. Model will come out and start second offensive possession here at their own 48. Good field position for the Blue Devils attack. And C.J. Walker remains under center in the shotgun, at least.
Shotgun, 2 wide, far side, 1 near side. They're going to turn, hand it off, try to find some running room. That's McQuarter, and he's able to get about 4 yards on first down.
Good carry there. Just off tackle play there to Gage McQuarter, the bell cow of this Blue Devil attack.
Offensive coordinator for this Model team for the last couple of years is Brent Bell, who used to be the offensive coordinator here under Tommy Atha for a long time at Darlington. So definitely a familiar name there.
You never know what you're going to get with Coach Bell.
No, you don't. He's always got the bag of tricks ready. You just don't know when it's coming or what it's going to be, do you? Going to be a couple of receivers to the near side, one on the far side as we get ready for C.J. Walker to take the snap. He's got it. It's going to turn, and the give goes back to Watson that time, or McQuarter rather, and he stopped at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, it was Noah Duggan, Sam 20, Stephen Moore. Familiar faces there. It was 20 that pulled him down there, got his arm wrapped around his thigh and pulled him down.
So this ball nose is just right there on the 49-yard line, just on the Tiger side of the field. Model Blue Devils Try to move the chains. They got to get 7 yards to do it. In danger of going 3 and out in their first 2 possessions of the football game. And possessions are coming at a premium for them. This is only the 2nd possession of the game, and we're a few minutes in to the 2nd quarter. There's the snap, going to hand it off, find a little bit of wiggle room that time, and he's able to get the first down. That was a good run by Gage McWhorter. Got some good blocking up front as well.
Yeah, and he about took it to the house. Trenton Moore and Sam Twinney got him by the shoelaces there. That's the first time that there's been a running lane, and McWhorter made the most of it.
So that's
nice cut back there.
First down of the game here for the Blue Devils on the run from Gage McWhorter. And now with 9:22 left to go here in the first half, Darlington leads it 14-0, but it's 1st and 10 for the Blue Devils at the Darlington 41. Working right to left. Walker getting rid of, going to be a direct snap there to the running back. They went with McWhorter that time again on the Wildcat, and he picked up about 5 yards. It was effective.
He did. Just a bulldozing power play there.
So that brings up 2nd down and 6. He got 4 on that play. There's the snap. Walker's going to turn, hand it off. Almost got tripped up. Shakes off a couple of tackles and gets down to about the 26. So that's very close to a 1st down.
Yeah, McWhorter getting lathered up here as this drive goes on.
And it looks like they'll snap it to Walker on this play, 3rd and short. They get it to Walker. He turns. Oh, trouble on the exchange. Ball ends up on the turf, and Walker's able to cover, but that's going to bring up 4th down and maybe about 3 yards to go.
Yeah, now I think you're in 4-down territory at the 35. I think we'll see the Blue Devils go for it. But just an issue there with the exchange. And they go from 3rd and 1 and looking like this drive might wind up in points to a huge 4th down play here.
2 wide receivers to the near side, 1 on the far side. Get ready for Walker to take the snap here in a moment on 4th and 4 with 7:50 and the clock ticking here in the 2nd quarter of this football game. Walker lines him up in the gun, gets ready to take the snap, trying to draw that defense off sides.
It came close, and a flag has been thrown. But they're going to call this one on model for the first time tonight. Oh, they're waving it off. Waving it off. Okay. Looked like they were going to signal false start, but I think model called timeout before the infraction.
Well, let's take it with them. 7:35 left to go in the first half. Darlington 14, model 0. We're back in 30 seconds.
At Rome Orthopedic Center, we salute students, freshmen and seniors, athletes and artists, first stringers and choral singers, band majors, and game changers. We hope you never need orthopedic care, but if you do, choose the only practice in the Rome area solely dedicated to the orthopedic needs of the students and families in our community. Rome Orthopedic Center. To make an appointment, call 706-292-0040.
You've got 4th and 4 as the Blue Devils are. As we had a timeout on the field taken by the Blue Devils, so about to resume play here in just a couple of moments.
Yes, we are. A big 4th down and 4 coming up for model as they try to climb back into this ball game. Only ran 3 plays in the first quarter. Darlington chewed up most of the clock. Had a really long second drive that extended well into the 2nd quarter, but models picked up a few first downs here. And we'll look to extend the drive. Can the Tigers get off the field? The Tiger faithful are certainly trying to root them on to do just that.
We're about to find out. Going to line up in a pistol formation here for the snap. Man motions from right to left. There's the snap. C.J. Walker's looking to throw, puts the ball in the air. Receiver was open. It was out of reach. Couldn't quite reel it in. That's going to be incomplete. And a turnover on downs for the Blue Devils.
Yeah, sometimes you draw them up and everything goes just right, but it still doesn't work out for you. And in that time, Bryson Bell was behind the entire Tiger defense. C.J. Walker put it out there. It was high, and Bell had to go up and get it, couldn't wrangle it. Could have walked into the end zone had he caught it, but it's incomplete, and it's Tiger football.
So the Tigers are going to start their 3rd drive of the football game, leading at 14-0. They're going to start at the 31 is what I was trying to say. And they'll line up under center with a wide receiver on each side of the formation. There's the snap, going to swing it out to the near side, get it into the hands of Moore, who shakes off a couple of tackles. He's across to the 42 before they haul him in. That should be a Tiger first down.
And it is. Trenton Moore has been excellent with the yak all season long. He's taken the ball around the line of scrimmage, and then he gets upfield, and he drags defenders with him. He makes them miss. He gets those tough yards after contact. And that time he took a ball right at the line of scrimmage and did all the work with it, picking up a Tiger first down.
So the ball's at the 42, 1st and 10 for the Tigers with 7 minutes to go in the half and a 14-0 lead. There's the snap. They turn, hand it off, go to the B-back dive, and Miles keeps those wheels turning, but there was a wall of Blue Devils waiting on him, so good defense and not a big pickup there on first down. Maybe got about a yard.
Yeah, ran into a wall, like you said. Part of that wall, the foundation of it, is big number 75. Good gracious, Sebastian Castaneda. That is a lot of man down there.
We were told he's 6'3", about 330 pounds, and he's all of that. There's no doubt about that. That is
nose tackle material right there.
So Darlington lines up with 2nd down and 9. Konchesky ready to take the snap. He's got it. Is going to fake the handoff, runs around the line of scrimmage, and they're going to close in on him and bring him down after a short pickup of about a yard. That was good defense.
Yeah. He got more than it looked like he did, man. He got about 3 or 4, setting up a 3rd and 5. Model defended that really well. It
looked like getting there first for the Blue Devils was number 24, Colin Watson, but then 3 other guys came in and helped clean it up.
Ridge Hardiker, one of those. And man, this half has just melted away. We're at the 5:40 mark almost.
So Nate Konchesky's going to split wide to the left side. Moore is on that near side. Quarterback under center, Sammy Konchesky for 3rd down and 5 coming up from the Darlington 47-yard line. There's the snap to Konchesky. He's going to fake the handoff. He's going to run the football, and he's able to get the first down, gets up in it at the end of the play. But what a good run there by Sammy.
Yeah, another 3rd down conversion for this Darlington offense as they continue to move the chains methodically and melt this clock away as well. Konchesky there pulled the ball, scampered out to his left and picked up 7 yards and the first down.
And the Darlington Stadium Band is playing Jump by Van Halen. We've had a theme this week. There's been a lot of Van Halen.
They're playing that one
talk.
for Jeff Gable.
Maybe so. There's the snap. Rolling out is Sammy looking to throw, puts the ball in the air on the screen pass, connects with Miles Twyman streaking down the sideline, shakes off a couple of guys. He's down at the 15, a first down and a red zone possession for the Darlington Tigers.
There's an explosive for you. Miles Twyman there. He rolled out from his B-back position. Little play action pass just to hits Miles in the flat and lets him turn on the afterburners. And I tell you what, Miles Twyman has found another gear between this last season and this season. We saw it. There's no better example of it than the 80-yard touchdown run against Pepperell, where he turned the afterburners on and took it to the house. But that was pretty impressive right there, too. Just a great blend of speed and power.
Would you say he's been moving faster than gossip in a small town?
You might say that.
There's the snap. Konchesky is going to hand it off, and they will try to go up the middle there.
Is that Duggan?
I think it was. He picked up 2 or 3 yards there on first down.
Yeah, it was. Giving Miles a blow on the sideline because of, the aforementioned gossip in a small town.
Who did Lauren? We were talking to Lauren Smith earlier this week, and he referenced a coach.
I think he was talking. I think he was talking about Texas's coach.
Okay.
And I will. I think the stadium's named after him, so I'll have to look it up and make sure I've got that right.
Probably didn't say it right. I did write it down because I wanted to use that at some point, but you get the point.
Right. Good stuff. Lauren Smith is great stuff.
He really is. All right, we're going to have another timeout that's going to be called. The Tigers are going to call this one, so we're going to take it with them. 3:33 left to go here in the first half. Darlington leads at 14-0. We're back in 30 seconds.
Shop for your next car, truck, or SUV at Riverside Auto Group. Check out riversideautogroup.com today to browse their selection or visit with them in person at Riverside Chevrolet GMC in Rome, Riverside Toyota in Rome, and the all-new Riverside GMC Cadillac in Cartersville. Locally owned and operated by the Welburn family since 1974. That's Riverside Auto Group. Visit riversideautogroup.com.
All right, we welcome you back out live inside Chris Hunter Stadium. They're playing on Jerry Sharp Field tonight and doing a fine job of it. The Darlington Tigers leading this one 14-0 with 3:33 left to go in the first half. They've got a 2nd down and 8 coming up. A red zone possession for the Tigers. We've got the ball at the 14-yard line, Ian.
Yes, they do. Ripping and running once again. Everything other than the penalties has been absolutely clicking, and a nice shot of the video crew up on top of the press box here at Chris Hunter Stadium.
Which we will take this opportunity to recognize. Noah Travis and Benton Potts doing the waving up there. On the press box cameras, remote cameras, you got Uta Patterson. Graphics is Caleb Bice tonight. Sitting next to us, replays Thomas Patterson. Director is Nathan Patterson. So that's your video crew for this evening. And there comes another train, man.
Another one.
All right. So this is 2nd down and 8 from the 14. There's the snap. Konchesky's going to fake the handoff, gives it off to Jace Donaldson, who streaks down towards the sidelines, cuts up inside to about the 8-yard line before they haul him out of bounds.
Yeah, he gets the pitch there, pretty well pursued by Model, but he's still able to pick up 5 or 6 yards. Donaldson, a threat to take it to the house every time you put the ball in his hands, man. He is such an explosive playmaker.
So this is 3rd down coming up here for the Tigers, and about 3 to go. Ball is going to be at the 9-yard line. Sammy's going to roll up under center as he does every play. Konchesky is going to be a wide receiver on the far side of the formation. Konchesky ready to take the snap from the 9. He's got the ball. He's going to fake the handoff. He's got company in the backfield. He's going to try to get away. Throws the ball out of bounds. Incomplete, just throws it away.
Yeah, and we got a flag. And this, who knows what this could be. Probably a hold on the Tigers, which I would think Model would decline and force the field goal, but we'll see. They might back him up.
Lane Holtzendorf was the defender that was all over Sammy Konchesky on that play and forced him to throw it away.
Ineligible receiver down. Yeah, so, and that happens on a play that takes that long to develop. Offensive lineman gets down past that buffer zone, and they'll throw the flag. We'll see if Model elects to accept the penalty or decline and force a 4th down and a decision.
2:41 left in this first half of play. At halftime, we'll relay some scores to you, courtesy of Rome Orthopedic Center. We haven't even mentioned yet that we've got the Honeymoon Bakery icing on the cake player of the game coming up at the end of the night. Always a lot of candidates when we get to the end of these games, man. They make it. The Tigers, boy, they pitch in. Great team effort. Always makes it hard on us.
It does. It does. It's a tough decision. The Model did accept the penalty, so it'll be 3rd down and 8 upcoming.
All right, so Konchesky under center, wide receiver to the near side, one on the far side. This is 3rd and 8. There's the snap, going to hand it off, goes up the middle, and gets some pretty hard yards there. It's going to set up 4th down, though.
Yep, and I think we'll see maybe we'll see Ade out for a field goal attempt, or will the Tigers elect to go for it here? A field goal would stretch it to a 3-possession game. I think Groves is going to let the clock go all the way down, call a timeout, and make a decision. Nope, here they go.
Konchesky runs up to the line of scrimmage, going to send those same wide receivers. Konchesky split to the left, and then more to the near side here. And looks like they're trying to draw them off sides, huh?
Yeah, maybe a freebie. Maybe a freebie. Okay.
Yep. All right, so the Tigers take a timeout. We'll take it with them. Just under 2 to play here in the first half. Darlington leads at 14-0. 4th down and 6 coming up in just a moment. We'll be back in 30.
At Rome Orthopedic Center, we salute students, freshmen and seniors, athletes and artists, first stringers and choral singers, band majors and game changers. We hope you never need orthopedic care, but if you do, Choose the only practice in the Rome area solely dedicated to the orthopedic needs of the students and families in our community. Rome Orthopedic Center. To make an appointment, call 706-292-0040.
All right, we welcome you back here to Darlington football on WLAQ and the live stream. And it looks like Ade's going to take a swing at it, Ian.
Yeah, I think if you get the opportunity here, you're well within Ade's range. You've got the ball right between the hashes, so there's no funny angles here. It will be a 28-yard attempt for DeSallo. He has plenty of leg for this.
And here comes the snap. Hold looks good. Kick is on the way. Got plenty of leg. And that one is going to be right down Broadway. That's 3 points for the Darlington Tigers. And the score moves to 17-0. It's been a good night for Ade. He's made a couple extra points. And now, as you mentioned, a 28-yard field goal to boot.
Yep, and that stretches it out to a 3-possession game. The Tigers have gotten points on each of their 3 possessions so far tonight. Very effective. The penalties have been a bit of an issue, but they've been operating so cleanly in this offense. They've been able to overcome all of it and continue to pick up first downs. That time, Model did stiffen up there at the goal line and get a stop and force the field goal, but still more points on the board for the Tigers.
Indeed. So the Tigers will get set to kick it back here to the Model Blue Devils. Do you have any score updates, man?
Yeah, I do. I can run down quite a few. Cartersville, that game getting a late start because it's on TV. Cartersville struck quickly and is out to a 7-0 lead on the road against Cedartown in a marquee matchup there. We've got Rome up 28-0 over South Paulding. No surprise there. Fannin County up 28-0 over Armuchee. No surprise there. Pepperell leading Haralson County on those tough county roads. 14-6 in the second quarter. Dade 0-0 with Coosa. Northwest Whitfield up 14-0 on Adairsville in the first quarter. Tryon leading Greenville 15-0. Calhoun is up 7-0 on Gilmer. That's all I've got right now.
And there's the kickoff from Ade DeSallo. That one's going to bounce into the end zone, so an automatic touchback. And the Blue Devils will start at their own 20-yard line.
And in other news, the suffering of Florida State Seminoles fans continues. They trailed Duke 17-3.
Oh, my goodness.
Oof, man. I wonder what the odds on the Seminoles starting 1-6 or 1-7, whatever it may end up being, were at the beginning of the season.
That is just unbelievable.
It really is.
What an interesting era of college football and sports in general that we're in right now with the transfer portal and NIL and all that kind of stuff. I know one of the things we may talk a little bit about at halftime is obviously Virginia's head basketball coach, Tony Bennett, retires right before the start of the season. That was not a shock that he retired, but the timing of it was pretty interesting.
It's like Dean Smith did that when he retired.
There's the snap. They're going to fake the handoff. C.J. Walker's going to run it up the middle, and he's able to get about 4 or 5 yards there on the first play.
Good pickup from Walker. Model will probably run that football. They've only thrown it a few times tonight as is, but if they could spring one and get a first down, perhaps they'll try to take some shots downfield.
So Walker's going to line his guys up. Looks like he'll have an empty backfield here with 5 wide receivers. Trips on the far side man, motions from left to right. They're going to hand it to the motion man. That's Colin Watson. They get him out to the edge, and he's able to spring free and get some yards and a first down.
Yeah, good run there. And Model has had some success. They had some success on their last drive, just stalled out on a 4th down conversion attempt that they really should have had. Just weren't able to wrangle in a pass. But time is running out on this second half. Model does receive the second half kickoff.
This time they're going to go empty backfield again to C.J. Walker. Man motions to the near side this time, and they come with the play that way. Gets it in the hands of Gage McCorder, who gets about 4 or 5 hard yards and takes a heavy hit at the end of the play.
Is Aiden Simpson making the tackle there. And that's a collision, boy. Gage McCorder is going to make you pay. If you're going to bring him down, he's going to punish you on the way there.
Isn't he, though?
Yeah. Bruising runner.
34 seconds left in the half. Here's the snap from the gun. They're going to hand it off, go back to Watson again, and they're going to haul him in, but not before he gets the yards he needs for a first down. Got to road him down to the turf on that play.
hold on for dear life. I do think time is going to run out on Model's effort to score here.
15 seconds. There's a snap to Walker. He's going to put the ball in the air. They get to the sidelines. Good play. Stops the clock. Connects with Colin Watson.
Model with 11.4 left on the clock.
Got about 4 yards on that play, setting up a 2nd down and 6 with the ball at the 48-yard line. Model still on their side of the field with it with 11.4 seconds left to go here in the half. Darlington leads it 17-0. They have gotten points on all 3 of their drives here in the first half of the game. And they've possessed the ball overwhelmingly the majority of the time.
Yeah, it's been in the hands of the Tigers for the most part.
So 11.4 seconds on the clock here in this one in the first half of the ball game. Halftime show coming up in just moments. Here's the snap. Walker rolling out to his right. Eyes looking downfield. Now he's going to cut up inside, try to run the football. Stays up. He's across midfield. Gets into about the 43-yard line.
Yeah,
Flag came in.
We're going to get a face mask here against the Tigers. An easy one to call for the officials. So if the spot, Matt, is at the 43, that'll be 15 yards. That'll get it down to the 28, which puts them in range for a field goal. I was just talking to our bright-minded intern, Grayson Atkins, over here, and he said we're talking 45 yards, and in is about the range of Model's place kicker. The strong-legged Kevin Espinoza.
Want to take an opportunity to thank our sponsors for being with us tonight of our radio coverage. Run them down real quick. Rome Orthopedic Center, sponsor of our scoreboard show after tonight's action. Advent Health, Avery Drugs, Georgia Highlands College, Harbin Clinic, Riverside Auto Group, Ware Mechanical, Georgia Northwestern Technical College with us tonight, and the Honeymoon Bakery. And we got a timeout?
No, I think we're going to see them.
Okay.
I mean, they could take a timeout here, but it'll be interesting. Honeycutt has a decision to make. Do you take a swing at it? It's a long field goal. They did take a timeout.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. So the Blue Devils take a timeout to talk this over. Let's take it as well. We're back in 30 seconds.
Coosa Steel is a family-owned full-line steel service center located in Rome, Georgia. Since 1972, we've been working to make our customers more efficient by providing steel product supply and processing all in one place. We are proud to provide a large range of products, including hot rolled and cold finished steel, stainless steel, galvanized steel, aluminum, and alloys. Our capabilities enable us to assemble and process steel orders within days, shortening your lead time. Coosa Steel. Steel for your project.
Here, Model Blue Devils have 0.9 seconds left to try to get some points here before time expires for the half.
And they're going to take a shot here. It'll be a Hail Mary effort here. C.J. Walker trots out under center alongside Ridge Hardiker.
So CJ ready to take the snap. Man motions from right to left. Now he goes back off to the right side of the formation and lined up in the slot. We have another timeout?
Yep.
All right, so another timeout is going to be taken by the Blue Devils, and we will take it also. So we'll wait a couple more moments here to get ready for this last play of the first half. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Water is the building block of life. At Abernathy Pump Service, we ensure you have the clean, reliable water you need. Whether it's water treatment, pump repair, or installation, our experts are here to serve both residential and commercial clients across North Georgia. With decades of experience, we guarantee top-notch service and quality you can trust. For all your water needs, choose Abernathy Pump Service. Because water is life, and we're here to keep it flowing. Call us today to schedule your service.
Who knows? We got a Blue Devil on the staff here who knows these
Another
kids.
timeout.
Good Lord.
This one's by the Darlington Tigers to try to ice the kicker. This has been an interesting sequence here for the
It
last
has.
0.9, and I feel kind of guilty working our board operator back at the station too hard tonight. So, Lynn, we'll keep it here because I know you got some work to do coming up at halftime, playing the break. So we'll just keep it right here and see if Ian's got any score updates for us, I suppose.
Well, Florida State's still losing to Duke. Oregon's leading Purdue. Let me scroll back through and see if there's anything interesting happening here. Cedartown's driving the ball, trying to answer Cartersville's opening score. The Canes lead that one 7-0 early. Rome's up 35-0. Fannin up 35-0. And here we go. We got a field goal coming up.
All right, a 35-yard attempt coming up here, as you mentioned, from Kevin Espinoza. Certainly got the leg for it. And let's see if he can give the Blue Devils their first points of the game, trailing 17-0 here on what will be the last play of the half. Here comes the snap. The kick is on the way, and that one is going to be wide to the left.
And I don't think that's on Espinoza. That was a short hop on the snap. And I think the holder did a great job just getting it down, but the ball was sideways. Couldn't get clean contact on it, and it sailed left and short. So Model will be scoreless in the first half.
All right, so your score at halftime, Darlington 17, Model Blue Devils at 0. Let's send it back to the studio for 3 minutes. We'll come back with a halftime show after these messages.
Here, I'm becoming who I want to be.
Here, I am looking toward my future.
Here, we learn from our failures so that we may soon succeed.
Here, we're passionate about learning and trying new things every day.
Here, we search for new perspectives and cultures so we can better understand the world.
Because at Darlington, we know we're in the most trusted hands.
As we discover new passions and learn more about ourselves through academics,
athletics,
fine arts,
and service to our community, we show our versatility as we choose different pathways to our goals.
This is our home.
We embrace challenges and persevere, even when something seems impossible.
We collaborate and create to take our place in the world.
We know that together we can make an impact.
This is our moment, our time.
Graduates today, Darlington forever.
Shop for your next car, truck, or SUV at Riverside Auto Group. Check out riversideautogroup.com today to browse their selection or visit with them in person at Riverside Chevrolet GMC in Rome, Riverside Toyota in Rome, and the all-new Riverside GMC Cadillac in Cartersville. Locally owned and operated by the Welburn family since 1974. That's Riverside Auto Group. Visit riversideautogroup.com.
Water is the building block of life. At Abernathy Pump Service, we ensure you have the clean, reliable water you need. Whether it's water treatment, pump repair, or installation, our experts are here to serve both residential and commercial clients across North Georgia. With decades of experience, we guarantee top-notch service and quality you can trust. For all your water needs, choose Abernathy Pump Service. Because water is life, and we're here to keep it flowing. Call us today to schedule your service.
Or watch on the live stream in a variety of different ways. We welcome you into the halftime show. We're glad to have you with us.
Yeah, an impressive effort in the first half from the home team. The Darlington Tigers scored on all three of their possessions, touchdowns on the first two, and then a 28-yard field goal from Ade DeSalle to stretch that lead to 17-0, and overcoming a lot of penalties. The Tigers just continue to bang away, play great on offense. They played really well on defense as well, shutting Model out in the first half.
Indeed, and a special night tonight is his alumni weekend, also introducing the homecoming court right now, as you can see on the screen. So great atmosphere here tonight. Obviously, we mentioned the big crowd that you've got on hand on the Darlington side, and then also for the Model Blue Devils and for the Darlington Tigers, as you pointed out, Ian. Just a great first half. Certainly would like to clean up the penalties and things of that nature, but no turnovers, which is a good thing to see there in the first half. And they were able to get points on all 3 drives, which is also a blessing to get to see for the Tigers tonight. So it's been a good game.
Very impressive. Coach Groves is addressing the penalty issue as we speak in that locker room, making sure that they get that cleaned up. But and they'll need to come out and keep playing hard. Model, we know this. Model's going to keep coming, so the Tigers have to keep the pedal down.
Now, there's no question the Model Blue Devils are not going to come out and lay down in the second half of this football game, and it's going to be very interesting. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and take another break, and we're glad that you're with us on the coverage. We're going to come back. We'll run down some scores from some other games, but this is the halftime show of Darlington football on WLAQ and the live stream. We'll be back in 3 minutes.
And Cedartown ate up a bunch of clock, didn't they?
That's going to be their game. They basically got Jalen out. All right. Representing the sophomore class is Callie Jensen.
You should say something for Brooke Brenton. Did you see
Okay,
that?
I did see it. Yeah.
Was my answer okay?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say.
Representing the junior class is Ruthie Brinson. Ruthie is the daughter of Jessica and Brooke Brinson of Rome, Georgia.
I like how you knew
She is
exactly
escorted
what I
by
was
Charlie
talking
Jackson.
about. That looks like him. Neville
Charlie
Longbow,
is the
bro.
son of Chaz and Bethany Jackson of Rome, Georgia.
Dang, bro, what are the students? Oh, they were just
Representing the junior class is Zane Khatib.
Zane.
Zane is the daughter of Dana and Corinne Khatib of Rome, Georgia. She is escorted by Toby Burns.
You know him? The next guy.
Toby is the son of Catherine and Brayton Burns of Rome, Georgia. Representing the junior class is Savvy Palmer. Savvy is the daughter of Jennifer and Kevin Palmer of Calhoun, Georgia.
Yeah, the guy that
She is
they're about to
escorted
talk
by
about.
Felipe Sele.
Okay, what's going on? Yeah, Felipe. Who is this, bro?
Felipe is the son of Siri and Juan Pablo Sele of Rome, Georgia.
He's probably a teacher or a dorm person.
Representing the junior class is Sophie Pillar. Sophie is the daughter of Kathy and Chris Pillar of Rome, Georgia. She is escorted by Miles Twyman.
Yep, it's his dad. All right, we welcome you back into live coverage of Darlington football on the live stream and also on WLAQ radio tonight. At halftime, the Darlington Tigers lead it 17-0, pitched the shutout there in the first half on defense. Model did attempt a 45-yard field goal on the last play, but came up with no points. So right now, again, Darlington leads at 17-0. We're going to take a look around the area at some scores, some big games tonight. I can't wait to hear what's going on in other games this weekend.
Yep, I'm going to give them to you. Rome up big, no surprise here. South Paulding has not scored. It's 42-0. Rome's offense is really rolling. They scored 70 last week. They've already got 42. It's not even halftime. In the game of the week, I would say statewide, and the game of the week on our show this week in Northwest Georgia football, Cartersville and Cedartown locking horns over in Polk County. Cartersville struck first, but Cedartown answered them with a really long, methodical drive. So the two opposite styles of play already showing off. Cartersville was quick to get in the end zone. Cedartown, good 10-12 play drive to get the equalizer. So great game going on over in Cedartown. Fannin County.
I'll tell you something funny real quick.
Yeah,
before we move
absolutely.
on for that. It's going to be really funny if we look at that score at the end of the night and Cedartown wins it by 1 point, because we asked Coach Abrams from Cedartown what his keys to the game were, and he laughed and he said to score one more point than the other team.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll keep a real close eye on that one.
Absolutely.
Fannin County out big, 42-0 over Armuchee in the second quarter. Pepperell traveling those tough county roads, out there playing Haralson County and Tallapoosa. The Dragons finally got their first win of the season. They're trying to get number 2. They're leading 14-6 at the half. Daresville, Northwest Whitfield. This is one of special interest to the gentleman on my left and right, because you guys are in a battle for first place in our pick show. And Grayson took Daresville. You took Northwest. Northwest was out to a 14-0 lead. Daresville has trimmed that to a 3-point lead. It's 17-14 Northwest Whitfield at halftime, so we'll keep an eye on that one. Closer than expected here. We thought Gilmer was a pretty good football team, but Calhoun only up 7-0 at the half. I don't have a score in Dade County, Coosa. We expected that one to be pretty good. If any of our listeners are out there and want to shoot us a text and let us know what's going on there, we'd love to know. Tryon leading Greenville 15-0. And that's all I've got right now, Matt.
No score on that Calhoun LFO game?
Calhoun's leading Gilmer, and then no score.
Rockmart, right?
Oh, Rockmart. Yeah, I don't have a score. I don't have a score there either. So,
okay.
Anybody that's tuned in to Coosa or Rockmart, get out of the pizza farm, get to the game, give us some updates.
Yes, please do.
And then go back to the pizza farm. That's fine.
And those scores brought to you by Rome Orthopedic Center. We certainly appreciate them sponsoring our scoreboard show, which, by the way, is going to be coming up after tonight's action. You can listen to Lynn, who's back at the studio tonight, running the breaks during this game, operating the board for us. And then tonight he hosts the scoreboard show with his son, Austin Butler. They do a great job with that. They've been getting a lot of calls here lately. And so we look forward to hearing what their cast of characters call in and have to talk about tonight regarding, football action going on around the area. And it's hard to believe that, as far as our football coverage has been concerned, it's been going for 10 weeks now. When you talk about our pick show and the scoreboard show and everything else, obviously this is week 8 as far as games are concerned for Darlington, but this season's been going on for 10 weeks. That just blows my mind.
Flying by, man. The month of October is almost gone already.
And tonight it feels like football weather, probably for the first time this season, more or less. And this is interesting. Chris Twyman, father of Miles Twyman's got on the crown out there.
Homecoming Kings pass. I don't know. I'm not sure what we're watching here, but
or perhaps maybe Miles won it, and then obviously he's in the locker room with his team, so his dad's got the crown on. You think that's what the scenario is unfolding? I didn't hear the announcement, but that's my best guess here at this moment in time. But anyway, let's go ahead and send it back to the studio right now. 17-0, Darlington Tigers lead it over Model at half. We're back in 3 minutes for more of the halftime show. Ooh. Welcome you back in for one more segment of our halftime show here on WLAQ and also the live stream as we get close to the start of the second half. Your Darlington Tigers up 17-0 over the Model Blue Devils here for the last home game of the regular season. Hopefully we'll be able to get one in the playoffs. We'll see what happens with the seeding. It's a little bit different with that situation this year because obviously at the end of the year you're going to have the private schools split off and from single A to 3A into their own bracket, and then you'll have the power rating system as well that factors into that whole situation. And I understand that the formula for that is kind of a simple kind of thing, but I've had a look at it, and I don't know how all that stuff works.
Not so simple.
Well, yeah, we'll just have to wait until the end of the year. I've looked at the Maxwell projections and things of that nature, but I don't even want to mention what they said because a lot can change over the course of the next few weeks. So I don't think there's a whole lot of point in going into all that. But we'll see what happens. And, of course, the Darlington Tigers in good shape here so far in this game. Let's see if they can keep it going in that direction. Yep. Do want to mention that, again, as we referenced, this is the last home game of the regular season. So after 3 home games in a row, obviously there was a bye week in there as well. The Tigers, the last 2 regular season games are on the road next week. Darlington is going to be heading to Temple in a battle of the Tigers, and that'll definitely be one of the toughest matchups that they've seen this year. That Temple team is excellent. They're idle this week, so they'll come into the contest no matter what happens, 6-2 and 3-1 in region play. Like Darlington, their only region loss so far is against Heard County. Temple's an athletic, hard-nosed squad, got a lot of speed, explosive offense, scoring about 34 points a game. So no doubt this is going to be a scrap coming up next week.
Yeah, a big one. I mean, look, Darlington's still got everything in front of them here. The loss to Heard throws them a little bit behind the 8 ball, but they already have a winning record in region play. If they can finish off this game, that'll set them up with a chance to get 2 more wins and put themselves in a great position. But these are going to be tough games. Look, Temple's a program that's been on the rise for a long time and playing really good football right now. And then you've got Bremen to close the season out. And look, Darlington and Bremen aren't strangers. They have a good history, and it'll be fun to get all the facts that you put together on that series history. But they've had some battles in the past.
Indeed, they have.
Yeah.
So we look forward to diving in to that coming up on the pregame coming up next week. I do want to remind everybody that coming up on Wednesday evenings, we have the Coach Grove Show, which airs live on our Facebook live feed and our YouTube channel. We had to post that one after we taped it this week because we had some internet issues at the radio station, so we couldn't go live with it. We apologize for those technical difficulties, but I think we have them resolved. I'm keeping my fingers crossed on that one. We got some new equipment at the station this week from our internet service provider that's supposed to resolve the issues, so hopefully that will end up being the case. Sometimes you just don't know.
Right.
With electronics, but we hope to have it live as usual coming up on Wednesday at 7 o'clock. Always look forward to that. And we also have our This Week in Northwest Georgia football program, which we stream live on our Facebook and YouTube channel, and that will be at 2 o'clock coming up on Thursday. That's where our panel of Ian Griffin, myself, and then also our intern, Grayson Atkins over here, he joins us when we pick the games for the weekend. We also have a couple interviews and things of that nature. So try our best to cover Northwest Georgia football and give you some good information going into the weekend.
That's right. We love doing it. So we appreciate all of you that tune in and invite those who haven't yet to join us Wednesdays at 7 o'clock and Thursdays at 2 p.m. for the Coach Grove Show and then This Week in Northwest Georgia football.
And I'm not ashamed to ask you to like, share, and subscribe. WLAQ YouTube, and then also our Facebook page, Twitter, all that kind of good stuff, and keep up with what's going on. And certainly our friends with Northwest Georgia Media would invite you to do the same thing, as well as all the Darlington channels and all that good stuff. So, yeah. All right, a little shameless plug there as we go into our last break of the halftime. Halftime period's almost over, but they do have the mandatory warm-up period. So let's step out for 2 minutes. We'll come back, set the stage for the second half. Darlington Tigers football tonight. They're up 17-0 after pitching a shutout in the first half. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
My name is Ryan Somerville. I am the sales manager for Business Water Solutions. We do water purification coolers as well as ice machines for any size business. We're on campus right now at Darlington School. Super happy to be here. They're one of our biggest customers. I myself played sports here. Our 2 founders played sports here. It was absolutely our pleasure to be a sponsor for Darlington Athletics. I think one thing that really sets us apart is our water purification. There's 13 stages. The reverse osmosis part of it has been a huge part of our success, along with our 24-hour guarantee for service calls. So when a customer does call us, we're then guaranteed within 24 hours. We were able to provide a touchless water system to make it more COVID-friendly in terms of germs and touching the water system. One thing I always say is we're not selling a product, we're selling our service. That's what we really push for every single day, is to have a customer service experience like they've never had before.
At Northwest Georgia Media, we're all about capturing the moments that matter to you. From sports to arts, from concerts to business events. We're equipped to share what's happening in your world, live and in high definition. We leverage cutting-edge technology and a knowledgeable crew to see that your most unforgettable events remain just that, unforgettable.
You've got the graphics at a high level, ESPN style, scoreboard angles, instant replay, anything you would expect to see on a regular broadcast, we're getting in a high school ball game.
They're set up, you wouldn't even know that they're even in the building. You just trust that they're getting the job done.
Northwest Georgia Media, where the world is your audience.
Warm-up period as we get ready for the start of the second half. And really, Ian, I don't think there are a tremendous amount of adjustments for the Darlington Tigers. Things went well on their 3 drives, came up with points. Didn't turn the ball over. That was a plus. And really, it's just the penalties. That's certainly something I'm sure they talked about at halftime, trying to get cleaned up. But otherwise, a pretty good half there for the Tigers on both sides of the ball.
The holdings and effort penalties like that are one thing. The procedures are something that are well within Darlington's control. So I'm sure that was addressed in the locker room. If they can eliminate that, they've really only been stopping themselves tonight on offense, and they scored points on every drive anyway. So an impressive half of football on both sides of the ball. Special teams, let's give them a nod as well. DeSalu, 2 for 2 on extra points, banged through a 28-yard field goal, has been booming the ball on kickoffs. So just an excellent performance in all 3 phases of the game. If you can duplicate that in the second half, it's going to be a Tiger win.
I agree with you 100%. And definitely want to send a shout out to Eddie Evans, who joined us in the press box for a visit for a couple of moments there. He used to help out with the broadcast from time to time when Steve did the games. Also called some games with me, and I hadn't seen him in a while, so it was great to see him come in here and visit with us for a few minutes. Big supporter of Darlington football. Also used to sponsor the games on the radio for a long time, and it was great to see him. Have not seen him in a long time. And he's enjoying himself watching the Tigers tonight.
Yeah, a lot of familiar faces here tonight. Saw Brooke Brinson down on the track. His daughter was on the homecoming court. Stephen Smith just popped in to say hello. So nice to see all of our friends here this evening on homecoming at Chris Hunter Stadium. And Matt, we've got 14 seconds, and it's time for the second half.
Indeed, and Darlington won the toss. They would elect to receive the ball, set the tone offense, which they did, scored on, again, all 3 possessions there in the first half of play. So we're going to see Model's offense out on the field here to start the second half. Obviously, they would love to try to march the ball down the field and get their first points of the game to get back in this ball game. And, of course, Darlington going to pin their ears back on defense and see if they can stop that from happening.
That'll be the goal. Model definitely got some things going on those the second and third possessions. Mainly with their workhorse Gage McQuarter just pounding the rock, along with Colin Watson also having some really nice carries as well.
More football coverage coming up for you tomorrow on WLAQ. Georgia Tech hosting Notre Dame at one of their games that they're hosting over the next several years at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And I've been looking at tickets throughout the week. There are a lot of tickets left for that game.
I may end up there. We'll see. Haynes King being out is definitely a deterrent. But Zach Pyron has played some meaningful football at his time at Georgia Tech. And if they can run the football, they'll be just fine. But I'm not sure how much Pyron can do with his arm to help the Jackets pull the upset.
Ade about to kick it off for the Darlington Tigers. He trots to the ball, and toe meets leather. We're underway with the second half. It's going to be brought out by the Model Blue Devils and Colin Watson, who goes up the middle of the field, now tries to cut to the right side. He gets down at about the 24-yard line. That's where they're going to set up shop.
Yeah, great pursuit there by number 52, Evan Parton. Guy has a nose for the football. Makes a great tackle there on the opening kickoff.
So third quarter is underway here from inside Chris Hunter Stadium, and as we pointed out to you, it's football weather tonight. We're down in the 60s, and we're going to be in the 50s before this game is over. It's going to be crisp when we're walking back to the car. I brought my jacket today for the first time in the season.
Love it. I tried to get the press box weather report from Grayson before I came out here. I was like, what's the temp like up there in the press box? Trying to decide how to dress.
It's just right.
Yes,
it feels great in here.
It does.
Shotgun formation for the quarterback, C.J. Walker. 3-wide set. He's going to take the snap. They'll run it up the middle. Not a running lane there.
No.
And he's brought down after a short gain.
No.
Gage McQuarter.
He danced, but there were Tigers everywhere he landed. Lost a little bit on that one, it looks like.
On for this package at that running back position is Colin Watson back there in the backfield with C.J. Walker. We've seen the Wildcat snap on a couple occasions in this football game, but not on this play. C.J. Walker getting ready to take the snap. He's going to turn, gives it right over to Colin Watson, and he's going to be stuffed after a short gain, so that's going to bring up 3rd and long.
And Noah Duggan was back there and had him wrapped up for a tackle for loss, but McQuarter was able to get away from him. Trenton Moore and Stephen Moore come in and clean that one up.
So that brings up 3rd down and 7 after the short pickup there for Watson, who remains in the backfield, it looks like, here for this package. No, he's going to line up here on the near side. Watson does. So this is 3rd and long here for the Blue Devils, working right to left, trailing 17-0. Everybody in tight at the line of scrimmage. Man motions off to the right side. Quarterback's rolling that way, looking downfield. Now he's going to tuck the football, try to run down the sidelines. Is hauled out of bounds, and that brings up 4th down. They go 3 and out.
Yeah, great coverage downfield. Walker was rolling out to give himself some more time, and the Tigers secondary had everybody blanketed, so Walker had to pull it and run, but they did a good job keeping him in front of him so that there wasn't a running lane and nowhere for him to go really except gain a couple of yards, step out of bounds, and that'll bring out Espinoza to punt the ball away.
So the defense forces the second 3 and out of the game. Here's Espinoza putting the boot on the ball, gets a good leg on it, and that one drops and takes a Darlington bounce, and it's going to be downed by a Model at the 47-yard line. So the Tigers are going to have good field position, really good field position.
Yeah, Espinoza's got a great leg. That one just hit the field and put the brakes on, went backwards. But he's a good-looking punter.
So with 10-10 left to go in the 3rd quarter, Darlington's going to get their first possession of the second half, leading this one already 17-0 after forcing the 3 and out. So let's see if they can put together a nice methodical drive, eat some of this clock, get some more points, and create some more separation on the scoreboard. They're going to send 2 wide receivers to the near side, Moore and Konchesky. Sammy's under center, working left to right. They're going to start this drive again at the 47-yard line, working left to right. The Darlington Tigers threatening to move it into Model territory on the first play from scrimmage. There's the snap, going to hand it off, gives it to Miles, who's going to be brought down. Forward progress is going to be stopped at the line of scrimmage, it looks like.
Yeah, he got a couple of yards.
Did he? Sure did.
Yeah. Yeah, that forward progress guy, they're going to give him 2.5.
So that's going to bring up 2nd down and 8 here for the Tigers with 9:50 left to go in the 3rd quarter. As the Tigers have got the nose of the ball right at the 49-yard line. Going to send those 2 wide receivers to the near side. Konchesky's here near the Tigers sidelines talking with coaches. And now they'll line up, get ready to run the play here on 2nd and 8. There's the snap. Quarterback's going to run it to the near side, try to cut up, find some green grass, and he gets upended right around the line of scrimmage. That was a heavy hit that Konchesky took.
Great defense there from Model. Sideline to sideline pursuit was excellent. No gain for the Tigers. That was quarterback run all the way. Just snap and off tackle, trying to get behind some blockers. But the model defense was up to the challenge.
So the nose of the ball stays at the 49-yard line, so no gain on the play, bringing up 3rd down and 8 with under 9 to play in the 3rd quarter. So the Tigers offense goes back to the drawing board here, trying to convert on a 3rd and long. Everybody's going to be in tight on the formation. Noah Duggan in at that B-back position here for this snap. Konchesky takes the ball. He's going to turn, fakes the handoff. There's the pitch to Jace Donaldson. Finds some room, stays up, gets the first down. A flag does come in at the end of the play, though.
I'm not sure what we'll get here. Block in the back or a face mask. It could go either way. I didn't see a face mask.
Hold on the offense.
They're going to get a hold, but it'll be a spot foul, Matt. I think he was already past the marker. It still will take Darlington back, and they'll be in a 3rd down position here. So it will take the first down away. But it should be 3rd and pretty manageable. Oh, well, it'll be 3rd and about exactly the same. I think they moved that up a half yard. I love standing corrected, you know? I mean, that's something, in this line of work, you have to be willing to take that right on the chin, right?
We're having a good time. We're having a good time. We're watching football on a Friday night.
That's right.
What would you rather be doing? Nothing. 2 wide receivers to the near side. 3rd down and 8 coming up here for the Tigers. There's a snap. Another flag comes in.
Yep.
Laundry day today.
It is. And the same thing that was happening in the first half. 2 guys moving pre-snap at the same time. Can't do it. It's been biting the Tigers all night long.
So they'll march off the 5 yards on that penalty, and instead it's going to be 3rd down and 13 coming up for the Tigers. Ball's going to be at the 44-yard line, and the clock's still ticking, though. Still taking some time here on this drive. Tigers have already ate up 2 minutes of the clock here.
That they have, and we'll see if they're content to run a screen or a draw, or if Konchesky's going to take a shot downfield. Model playing way off the receivers.
2 receivers to the near side. 3rd down and 13 coming up. Konchesky takes the snap. He's rolling out to his right. He's got company in the backfield, chased all around, puts the ball in the air, and that's going to fall incomplete out of bounds, setting up a 4th down punt situation for the Tigers.
First punt of the night. It'll be Trenton Moore that'll come out to kick this one away as Model takes advantage of the Tiger penalties there to stall that drive out.
And Gage McCorder got into the backfield and was chasing Sammy all around, forced him to have to throw that ball incomplete out of bounds. So punt coming up from Trenton Moore of the Darlington Tigers. 1 man back here for the Model Blue Devils. That's going to be Rip West, who will be standing right between the middle of the hashes at about the 26-yard line. So we wait for the snap to Moore. There it is. Pulls it down, kicks the ball. And that one's going to float in at about the 27. Takes a nice Tiger bounce inside the 20. Still rolling down to about the 17. That was a very nice bounce and roll.
It was. Good punt from Moore. And really a very similar punt to what we saw from Espinoza. But that one got the kind bounce. And that'll push Model back inside their own 20 to start their second possession of the second half.
Give you some score updates as we go along throughout tonight's action here, as we're following a bunch of games tonight as we're getting late in this regular season. Most teams after tonight will only have 2 games. Of course, you're going to have a gap between the end of the regular season for a lot of teams in the playoffs because of all the storms that we've had. Some teams aren't able to finish the regular season on schedule, so you're going to have essentially a bye week for some teams, including Darlington at that point at the end of the year, as some teams try to make up a regular season game. There's the snap. They're going to hand it off, try to run it to the near side, find a little bit of room to run and get about 6 yards, but a flag comes in.
Yeah, and that's in the area of a hold.
And the ball carrier was Gage McCorder, by the way, for Model.
We'll see what the call is here. White hat, personal foul on Darlington. Goodness gracious. The penalty yards just keep piling up.
So the official marks off the penalty yards. First down, Model. As they line up now at the 41-yard line, still on their side of the field.
Model scrapping to get back into this game.
Going to have two wide receivers on the far side, one on the near side here for this Model Blue Devils offense. C.J. Walker is their starting quarterback tonight. They played three different quarterbacks this season. There's the snap, going to hand it off, a little bit of a delayed handoff there, and they go with Gage McWhorter, who's able to gash him for about 6 or 7 yards. That was a good hard run for that young man.
Yeah, McWhorter's had a good night tonight. Tigers have been trying to get in the backfield and get him stopped before he can get his motor running, because once he gets it running, he's a tough guy to bring to the turf.
Big Will Scholl is going to trot out on the field here for the Darlington Tigers, and when I say big, he's 6'5", about 240 pounds.
A lot of human.
Indeed. This is the first time that the Model Blue Devils and the Darlington Tigers have played since the 2015 season. It's been a while since this one's been on the list. There's the snap. Going to hand it off. They go up the middle, and that should be a Model first down.
Yeah, just grinding it out. And I tell you what, Matt, if Model can mount a scoring drive, they're right back in this ball game.
Just got a text message from our buddy Steve Conrad. He said, my arm is sore from just watching all these flags being thrown.
I bet.
That one deserves some airtime
yes,
right there. That
does.
was a good text. First down and 10, 6:22 left to go in the third quarter. Darlington leads at 17-0. There's the handoff coming back to the near side on this one. Finds some room on the edge. He's still up, shakes the tackle inside the 15, and they're going to get him out of bounds at about the 12. A very, very big play, biggest play of the game for the Blue Devils, and that was Gage McWhorter with a big run. Something finally opened up for him there.
Student body left there. Gage McWhorter takes the pitch, gets a head full of steam. Gets out to the sideline and just turns on the jets. Does a good job following his blocker, finding that seam. And it was Sammy Konchesky and Jace Donaldson that finally chased him down, knocked him out of bounds. But Model in business here.
And this is the first real spark that we've really seen from them on offense in this game. Did have an opportunity to try to kick a long field goal earlier, but here's the snap to Walker. He's going to fake the hand. No, he does hand it off, and then he's going to be brought down inside the 10 at about the 9 the ball carrier was. I think that was Colin Watson on that carry. It was.
Watson, yeah.
So 5:41 and the clock ticking in this third quarter. Darlington leads at 17-0. C.J. Walker getting ready to set his team up here with second down and 5 with the ball at the 9-yard line. C.J. lines him up in a gun. Got two wide receivers to the near side in the backfield with him is Colin Watson. They're going to hand it to Watson. Tries to bounce off the side of the line of scrimmage. Stays up. Good hard run down to the goal line, but I think he's going to be stuffed at around maybe the 1 or 2.
They're going to go quick. They're going to go tempo here, see if they can catch Darlington in transition here.
So they go to the gun. In the backfield is going to be Watson. There's the snap, and a flag comes in.
False start on Model. And that may be the first penalty on Model tonight. They called a timeout before they got flagged late there in the first half. I'm pretty sure that's the first one, and there have been a ton.
So that's going to bring up first down and goal, but that'll back them up 5 yards, so it'll be from the 6. They'll line up in the gun. In the backfield remaining is going to be Colin Watson. They'll also have a couple of wide receivers to the near side, one on the far side. Here's CJ taking the snap. He's going to hand it off, go to Watson, spins around, tries to shake a tackle. He's brought down at around the 5. Good stop by the defense.
Yeah, Sam 20 and Stuart Grigsby out there. 20 got a handful of jersey and held on for dear life. We've got a Model Blue Devil on the turf here, Matt.
So Model's defense trying to pin their ears back, come up with a goal line stand, and as you mentioned, it looks like we're going to have a timeout because of the injury. So we're going to take this one as well. Right now, the Tigers lead at 17-0, 4:55 left to go in the third quarter of the ball game, and we've got a second and goal coming up here from the 9-yard line, I think, in just a couple of moments. But we'll tell you more in a moment. Injury timeout back in 30.
At Rome Orthopedic Center, we salute students, freshmen and seniors, athletes and artists, first stringers and choral singers, band majors and game changers. We hope you never need orthopedic care, but if you do, choose the only practice in the Rome area solely dedicated to the orthopedic needs of the students and families in our community. Rome Orthopedic Center. To make an appointment, call 706-292-0040.
Welcome you back live here at Jerry Sharp Field. We're at the Lakeside tonight. Chris Hunter Stadium, Darlington Tigers on top 17-0. Saw a big play just a little bit ago, setting up a goal line stand here for the Model Blue Devils on a big run from Gage McCorder, who was finally able to break free and set them up potentially in scoring position. But let's see if the Tigers can pin their ears back on defense and come up with a goal line stand here, Ian.
Well, it's second down and goal from the 5. Penalty pushing Model back.
Shotgun formation, everybody in tight, man motions to the left, and the ball's loose on the turf. Who came up with the football? There's a pile of humanity there. We'll see who got it. I think that Model was able to cover there, and they did.
Yeah. I think Walker ended up getting back on top of it.
But still, that's going to bring up third down here and goal from the 5-yard line. So the Blue Devils will go back to the drawing board here for this down on a beautiful night for a football game. We got clear skies, cool temperatures. It's just the perfect fall evening. And exactly where you want to be on a Friday night like this is at a ball game. In the backfield's Colin Watson. Walker ready to take the snap. He's got the ball and is going to go with a shovel pass up the middle, and he's going to stay up. And you got a wall of Tigers trying to bring him down. They finally get him to the turf. Was that Ridge Hardiker that they got that ball to?
Now we got 2 flags that fly here. This is extracurricular stuff. I hope they're offsetting. I really do. I think tempers were flying.
One against Model.
That's just against Model.
Yeah.
That's huge. That's huge. It was going to be 4th and goal from 4. But that will push this ball back to the 19 and put Model in a position where I think they have to try to kick it and put points on the board. They're still in this ball game.
And that was Ridge Hardiker that they threw that shovel pass to.
It was.
So this is kind of dropping back to about the 20-yard line. And we've been talking about all the penalties against the Darlington Tigers throughout the course of the game, and then you get a really painful one here for the Model Blue Devils at a crucial point in the game where they're trying to put some points on the board.
And there's a decision to make here. Are they going to kick it, or are they going to take a shot here on 4th and goal from the 19-yard line? Decisions.
Haven't seen Espinoza come out onto the field just yet, so it looks like they try to run a play here. At least that's the look they're giving right now. C.J. Walker. We're going to have a timeout. All right.
Yep.
Well, let's take it with them. 3:25 left to go, third quarter. Darlington up 17-0. Decision time on 4th and goal coming up from the 19 when we come back in 30 seconds.
Shop for your next car, truck, or SUV at Riverside Auto Group. Check out riversideautogroup.com today to browse their selection or visit with them in person at Riverside Chevrolet GMC in Rome, Riverside Toyota in Rome, and the all-new Riverside GMC Cadillac in Cartersville. Locally owned and operated by the Welburn family since 1974. That's Riverside Auto Group. Visit riversideautogroup.com.
All right, welcome you back to our broadcast tonight of Darlington football. Darlington's up 17-0. A big penalty just called against the Model Blue Devils as they had the ball about the 4-yard line and then got called for a penalty, personal foul that's going to bring them back to the 19-yard line with 4th and goal. So big down here.
Yeah, huge. Model looked like they were going to come away with 3 at a minimum. And that penalty pushes them back. And they are going to take a shot at the end zone here. And they have to get there, or it's going to be Darlington football.
Colin Watts, flags, 2 flags come in just before the play.
Man, I think that was some kind of snap infraction or something. I didn't see the signal.
So the penalties piling up on this drive.
Yeah.
And just drive killers here for the Model Blue Devils, as it looked like they were undoubtedly, as you mentioned, about to get some points here in this game. So the ball's now going to be at the 24-yard line as they line up for this play. Going to send 2 wide to the far side, 1 on the near side. In the backfield here with the quarterback, C.J. Walker, is going to be Colin Watson. There's the snap, a little bit of a low snap, picks it up, puts the ball in the air towards the end zone, and that is going to be incomplete. I don't see a flag on the play. And so that falls incomplete and a turnover on downs for the Model Blue Devils. So the Tigers dodged a bullet there.
Yeah, it looked like Zayden Simpson and Stuart Grigsby there on the coverage did a great job just going up, playing the ball, high pointing it, knocking it away and not giving the receiver a chance. And Grigsby was the one who went up, put his hands right between the receiver's hands, tipped that ball, and Darlington gets the stand. It looked like Model was going in, and this game was about to get really interesting. But Darlington comes up big. The penalties definitely hurt the Blue Devils on that one.
So the Tigers will take over at the 24-yard line on their side of the field, working left to right on first down. They're going to run the pitch play to Donaldson, finds a little bit of room. Good tackle there by the defender. Saves a real big game, but he's still got about 5 or 6 yards. But credit where credit's due with him wrapping up and getting Jace to the turf, not letting him free.
Yeah, they've done a good job limiting the explosives.
Right there.
And that was number 29, Aiden Miles with the tackle.
So that's going to set up a 2nd and 2 for the Tigers after the 8-yard pickup, but that could have been a much bigger play. It looked like it was going to be for a couple of moments there. But the defender able to wrap up. But the Darlington Tigers way ahead of the chains here for the 2nd down play. They're going to line up with everybody in tight here for their base formation. Konchesky ready to take the snap. He's got it. It's going to fake the handoff. There's the pitch. Gets it to Bodie Powers, trying to get him to the edge. And he's brought down at about the 36-yard line. So that's going to be enough for the first down.
Yeah, it is. Shoestring tackle out there on the edge. But a good pitch from Konchesky to Powers. And Powers was almost able to turn that up at the boundary, but he was brought down by, I think it was Tyler Harrell that got him.
Lynn just sent me a score on that Coosa game. He says it's 28-28.
Wow, the Eagles.
Halftime. Dade County, right?
Yeah, that's
a
great.
good football team.
That's great. Well, we've heard all season Coosa's really moved the ball well. It's just been penalties and turnovers and their struggles in the red zone that have kind of hurt that offense.
2 wide set here on 1st and 10. There's the snap. Sammy dropping back, looking to throw, going to take a shot. Ball's in the air, and that's going to be incomplete. Well defended by the Model Blue Devils, and that was number 4, Brant Patch, who was able to break up that pass play.
Yeah, he was with Donaldson step for step. Excellent coverage downfield, but Konchesky put that ball only where Donaldson could have caught it. He tried to make the adjustment, catch it on that back shoulder.
Actually, I think that was Rip West. I said Patch, but I didn't see the 1 next to the 4, so I apologize for that.
Well, great coverage there by West.
So the Tigers have 2nd and 10. The ball's at the 37-yard line. Tigers still on their side of the field. Everybody in tight base formation. There's the snap. They're going to fake the pitch, go with the handoff up the middle. There's Bodie Powers, who's going to get across to about midfield and move the chains again.
But there's a flag.
Oh, you got to be kidding me.
Chop block, Darlington. Wouldn't be a Darlington game without a chop block. We've had one, at least one in every game, unless I missed one last week.
I don't think we saw one last week. I'll have to
All
go back and review that, but I don't remember us talking about that last week.
Maybe I bring the chop blocks with me. I don't know.
So 1:30 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Darlington leads at 17-0. And after the chop block penalty, they'll march off the yards and we'll get ready for a 2nd down play, and it's going to be a mile, folks, after they march this one off. Obviously, that's a biggie.
My goodness.
15-yard penalty. Ooh.
The trend continues.
That backs them up to the 22-yard line, and we've seen a lot of penalties for both teams here in this third quarter of the football game in the last couple of possessions.
I quit totaling them up, but it has to be over 100 yards easily at this point for Darlington.
Nate Conchessi's going to be wide to the left side. To the near side's Trenton Moore. It's second down and a mile. They're going to throw a pass out to the flat to the near side. Another flag comes in. Trenton Moore catches the ball, but let's see what the hanky's all about.
I'm going to imagine this is on Darlington. False start.
False start.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Some nights are just like this. But the good thing for the Tigers is they have a 17-point lead.
That's exactly right.
Despite the penalties, they have a 17-point lead.
And now it's second down and
where did we call that game where Darlington had all the holding penalties? Was that
second down and 30?
Yeah.
What's that now?
There was a game Darlington had several scores called back on penalties. You and I called.
Oh, we were at Mount Perrin. That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
I think Brad Butler was the quarterback at that time. There's the snap. They're going to fake the pitch, go to the handoff. That's Bodie Powers coming back to the near side, and he's brought out of bounds at about the 27-yard line. So they still have quite a good bit of ground to cover to get a first down, but gives them a little bit of breathing room at least.
Yeah, and no flags.
No flags. So 36.5 seconds and the clock ticking here in the third quarter, and the Tigers are going to go back to the line of scrimmage now after picking up 10 yards with third down and 20 with the ball at the 28. And we've got 10 seconds left on the play clock.
Yeah,
it looks like the Tigers are going to take it all the way down, huh?
Yeah, they may just take a timeout here.
2 seconds on the play clock. That's going to be they took the timeout. Yeah. All right, let's take one also. 17-0, Darlington leads it. 10.9 seconds left in the third. We're back in 30 seconds.
At Rome Orthopedic Center, we salute students, freshmen and seniors, athletes and artists, first stringers and choral singers, band majors and game changers. We hope you never need orthopedic care, but if you do, choose the only practice in the Rome area solely dedicated to the orthopedic needs of the students and families in our community. Rome Orthopedic Center. To make an appointment, call 706-292-0040.
Well, we welcome you back to our broadcast of Darlington football. We're at Chris Hunter Stadium tonight for the last time of the regular season, at least. And the Tigers are up 17-0 over cross-county foe and rival. As Coach Grove said on the Coach Grove Show this week, if Pepperell is their number one rival in the county, if there were a 1A, it'd be the Model Blue Devils. And right now, Darlington is up 17-0. But they've got third down and 19 coming up their own 28-yard line. Let's see what they dial up for this. There's the snap. Quarterback is going to hand it off. They go the other side with Miles Twyman. The defense was ready. They almost pulled him down. He stays up, shake off a couple of guys, and it takes about 3 or 4 Blue Devils to finally get him to the turf at about the 35 as time expires in the third.
And look, that play right there is now famous in Darlington football lore because that's the delay sprint that they popped for that 80-yard score against Pepperell. That time, well defended, but Twyman's still able to pick up some yards, make something out of nothing. And that's 3 quarters in the books, Matt.
17-0. We're back in 1 minute.
My name is Ryan Somerville. I am the sales manager for Business Water Solutions. We do water purification coolers as well as ice machines for any size business. We're on campus right now at Darlington School. Super happy to be here. They're one of our biggest customers. I myself played sports here. Our 2 founders played sports here. It was absolutely our pleasure to be a sponsor for Darlington Athletics. I think one thing that really sets us apart is our water purification. There's 13 stages. The reverse osmosis part of it has been a huge part of our success, along with our 24-hour guarantee for service calls. So when a customer does call us, we're guaranteed within 24 hours. We were able to provide a touchless water system to make it more COVID-friendly in terms of germs and touching the water system. One thing I always say is we're not selling a product, we're selling our service. That's what we really push for every single day, is to have a customer service experience like they've never had before.
Well, the start of the fourth quarter is going to begin with a Darlington punt. And the ball is now in the hands after a tough snap. Moore's going to pick it up and run the football. He's across the 40, stays up, nobody gets him, and he is across the 50 down to the 45 and a first down. And that's not what they were trying to do there.
No.
It was a low snap. He picked up off the turf and realized, I'm just going to pick it up and run it.
And you look at the smile on Coach Grove's face. God, if you could get a shot of that, that is priceless. Sometimes things just go your way. A low snap, and Trenton Moore trying to really, I'm sure he looked up just trying to make sure that it wasn't going to get blocked, and he was like, well, there's a lot of green grass out there. I think I'll take off and enjoy a stroll. And it's a Tigers first down.
So they roll up to the line of scrimmage, which is now at the 45-yard line. Going to hand it off, go up the middle with Duggan. He's able to carry the pile down to about the 37-yard line, and a good pickup there on first down for the Tigers. That was, I don't know if I've ever seen anything quite like that before. I think I've said that a million times this season calling these games.
Yeah, sometimes that happens. Miles Twyman noticeably on the sidelines. He has been a little banged up, walking around with a limp. So Noah Duggan in at that B-back position. And you get to this stage in the season, I don't think there's anybody who's 100%.
Absolutely, especially when you got a 33-man roster and everybody's playing on every single play, which you see a lot in single A, Wide receiver to the near side. Quarterback under center here for the 2nd down and 4 play. Konchesky ready to take the snap. He's got it, turns, going to hand it off to Duggan, finds a seam up the middle. They spin him around and down at the 25. First down, Darlington Tigers, and the offense is in business.
Yes, they are. Duggan coming in at the B-back position and just bruising it through the middle.
So the Tigers have it 1st and 10 now at the 26-yard line. Now we're getting a little bit of Van Halen and Unchained bumper music tonight. It's one of my favorite Van Halen songs. Last time I saw them, they opened up with that, and man, I thought I was going to lose it. That's good stuff.
Well, we know Coach Groves has enjoyed it too.
Oh, yeah. All right, Sammy Konchesky's under center as we get ready for 1st and 10 now from the 26-yard line. There's the snap up, a little bit of a collision there after the snap. Going to pitch it to Bodie Powers, try to get him to the outside. Look at the wheels, stays up, and is able to get a good chunk of yards out of what looked like might end up being nothing.
Yeah, kind of a blown-up play there early, but Konchesky able to get a handle on it and get the pitch and give Powers a chance. Him and Duggan collided before he could make the pitch, and then it was hemmed up, but Powers throws the stiff arm out there and uses his speed to get outside and kick it upfield for a nice little gain.
So the ball's now at the 20 after the 6-yard pickup from Powers. Sets up a 2nd and 4 here for the Darlington Tigers. Going to have wide receivers, one on each side. Konchesky to the near side. On the far side is Moore. As we get ready for this 2nd down and 4 play. Konchesky taking some time here before taking the snap. He's got the ball, going to turn, fakes the handoff. There's the pitch to Jace Donaldson. He's got the ball on the near side, and he's going to be hauled in at about the 11-yard line. I stepped on my cord here and yanked my headset off. Almost took an ear with it. I got to be careful about that. That's the 2nd time that's happened tonight. Get a little excited, maybe a little too excited sometimes. Tell you what, that Jace Donaldson is an explosive playmaker.
He really is. Every time he touches the ball, he's a threat.
You blink your eyes and he's gone. All right, this is going to be 1st and 10 for the Tigers now at the 11-yard line in the red zone. Up 17-0 here in the 4th quarter. There's the snap, going to hand it off to Duggan, and he's able to get maybe 2 or 3 yards there.
Yeah, not much there. Duggan has been a spark to the offense. He's come in and played well. Spelling Miles Twyman, who's been a little banged up tonight.
9:05 left to go in the 4th quarter. Darlington 17, Model 0. 2nd and 8 coming up in just a couple of moments. Ball at the 11-yard line.
Darlington's not in a hurry here. They're going to let that clock melt away.
8-yard line, rather. Konchesky under center, getting ready to take the snap. He's got the ball. There's the quick pitch over to Bodie Powers, trying to get him some room. Stays up, and he dives at the end of the play, gets inside the 5. We'll see where they spot him. But another good play there by Bodie Powers.
Yes, indeed.
Man, he's got that right at about the 2, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
Got even further than I thought. So that's 1st and goal in for the Darlington Tigers. From the 2. Let's see if they can plunge it in.
They'll have 4 shots at it. I think they will not settle for 3. 3 points doesn't change this from a 3 to 4 possession game. A touchdown, I think, puts this out of reach.
Konchesky ready to take the snap. And here it is. Going to take the snap, fakes the handoff. Konchesky rides a defender into the end zone. Touchdown, Darlington Tigers. And the 2-yard plunge there for Konchesky. And he had company on his back and just took him with him. Wow,
yes,
what a play.
Did. Keeper there for Konchesky on 1st and goal, and he plunges ahead into the end zone, extending this lead to 23-0 with the PAT pending.
So Ade DeSalu, who has been perfect tonight in extra points, and also his field goal attempt of 28 yards, gets ready to try to make his 3rd PAT of the game. Here comes the kick, and that one is going to be right through, but we did see a flag come in, so he may have to take another crack at this one.
We'll see if it was after the play. That was thrown right there at the middle of a mass of humanity, as you like to say. So I'm guessing there was a little extracurricular going on the ground. We'll see what the call is. And it is a dead ball. Personal foul, they're going to call it on Model, so that will be tacked onto the kickoff, and we'll see Darlington kick off from the 50 or Model's 45, depending on where they march this off from.
Well, so far, Darlington Tigers pitching the shutout, leading at 24-0 with just under 8 minutes to play in this football game. And, of course, Darlington last week ended up losing a tough one. It was a 2-point game at half against Heard County. 3 touchdown runs for their quarterback, Ethan Tidsdale, in the 3rd quarter, and Darlington just couldn't mount the comeback. Had some turnover issues in that game. So to get back out here tonight against a in-county rival like the Model Blue Devils and get a 24-0 lead with under 8 minutes to go, just what the doctor ordered. And this will be a big win if the Tigers can hang on to this and win. It looks like they're well on their way.
Yeah, I think that touchdown really, three touchdowns, 3 2-point conversions is what it would take to get this thing squared up. And Model has not been moving the ball in a quick fashion tonight. They have had some success between the 20s, stalled out twice now in Darlington territory. So I'd say it'd be a stretch, but anything's possible. We've seen some crazy things happen. So
yeah, you don't take anything for granted, that's for sure.
Salu will kick this off from the Model 45 after the penalty.
And he trots to the ball, and that's going to be a short kick. Onside kick attempt, and Model's going to cover that ball at the 36-yard line. Good heads-up play there by Ridge Hardiker, and Model's going to take over.
Yeah, when you're kicking off from the opposing 45, the gamble of the onside isn't too big of a field position swing, and if the Tigers had gotten on that, they could have pulled just drained another 3-4 minutes off the clock. So I like the gamble. It almost paid off. I'm not sure if that was touched early. Let's see what the officials say here. Nope, they've picked up the flags, put them back in their pockets. You're going to have to use a lot of extra Tide and detergent to wash all these flags after all their action tonight.
So the Blue Devils are going to open up their next possession at their own 37-yard line. It's going to be 1st and 10 here for the Blue Devils, trailing on the road 24-0. And they're going to send a couple of wide receivers to the far side. There's the snap, going to fake the handoff, going to put the ball in the air, try the deep ball here, and that is intercepted. Darlington Tigers, Sammy Konchesky intercepts the ball with the Darlington Tigers leading at 24-0. Watch that ball all the way in and made a nice grab. It was right to him.
I mean, it was a pretty-looking ball. Good spiral there from Walker. His receiver was in position, but Sammy Konchesky just tracked that sucker down, went up, high-pointed it, and picked it off. And the senior in what could be his last night playing in front of these home fans, depending on how things shake off with the seeding in the playoffs, is putting on a show. He just scored a touchdown and follows that up with an interception.
We got the Honeymoon Bakery icing on the cake player of the game coming up at the end of tonight's action. And who knows, it might be Sammy for, the third time this year?
Yeah, he's won it a few times.
So Sammy under center, 1st and 10. Man motions to the right. They're going to hand it off, come back this way with it. Jace Donaldson is going to be stopped. Not much doing on that play. The defense was ready for it that time.
Yes, they were.
So 7 minutes and 32 seconds. And the clock ticking here in this one. We've taken a lot of time from the Rome Orthopedic Center High School football scoreboard show, Lynn and Austin, this year, but we may be giving them some back tonight.
You never know. Every time we've said that, it usually
Did I just give it the curse?
Yeah, something happens and we end up going over. But we'll see. This one certainly looks like it's winding down. We may get to him on time tonight.
We just may. I might not should have said that, though. You're right. 29-yard line. Wide receivers on each side on 2nd and 10. There's the snap to Sammy. They're going to hand it off and try to pound it up the middle there with Noah Duggan and a hard run. Maybe picking up about 3 or 4.
Yeah. Not sure. I think Miles Twyman's night is done. Hopefully he will be able to recover. They're going to need him. Hopefully they can get Henry Ledbetter back next week as well. We'll see a healthy Tiger squad as they go into a huge, huge game on the road against Temple. And I believe I saw Heard County was trailing.
Really?
Bremen.
Wow.
Earlier. I'll look that one up.
This is 3rd down and 6 for the Tigers with 6:18 left to go in a 24-0 lead. There's the fake handoff, the pitch. They're going to get it to Jace Donaldson. He's off to the races, folks. He's hauled down at about the 40-yard line. No doubt about it, a penalty. And he took a heavy hit, too. He's slow to get up after that play.
That's a dangerous tackle. That's why it's illegal. And Donaldson seems to be okay. He got up quick. He's got a little limp, but that'll be an extra 15 yards at the end of the run.
Thought for a second there he might have grabbed a little piece of that face mask too, but
it's possible. Definitely a horse. Face mask
he got
too.
The face mask too on that one.
Yeah.
That was a very dangerous play.
It was. I'm glad Jace is okay. And I don't think it was malicious.
No, not at all. Just trying to make a play, but
don't ever want it to come across that way. I don't know. It didn't look like a dirty play whatsoever. Just trying to make a play, reaching out and grab what you can get your hands on, and unfortunately it was the face mask.
So now it's 1st and 10 for the Tigers at the 25-yard line. And they're going to send a wide receiver out to the right side. That's going to be Nate Koncheski. Caught the first touchdown pass of the game here for the Tigers. Got a black shirt last week for his blocking in the previous game. Just a sophomore this year, Nate. In the backfield is going to be Noah Duggan here with Koncheski. 1st and 10 coming up. There's the snap, going to turn, hands it off, and actually it's going to go to the near side. That's Sammy Koncheski, and he scoots into the end zone. What a tricky play there. 25-yard run, and the Tigers strike again. Wow.
It's the Sammy show right here in the 4th quarter. He puts another touchdown on his resume.
The Tigers are up 30-0, pinning another PAT from Ade DeSalu. No pressure on this one, though. The Tigers have got this one in the win column. It's just a matter of what the final score is going to be. So DeSalu on to try to tack on the extra point. Another personnel change. Colton Moman runs out on the field here for the Darlington Tigers before they line up, try to punch this thing through and make it a 31-0 game. They just hit the gong over here. Did you hear that?
Matt, I know how much you love a gong.
Here's the kick, and that one is going to be through as well. It's 31-0. Wow.
Yep, and that ought to do it right there. The Tigers get an interception, an explosive play with 15 yards for a face mask tacked on, and 2 plays later, Sammy Koncheski pulls and takes it to the house.
And, you know, one of the things that we have not seen the Tigers do this year so far, they came close when we were over at Ridgeland, is pitch a shutout. And it's potentially that they could do that here tonight, up 31-0 against Model.
And you know a defensive minded coach like Coach Groves would love to have a goose egg up there when this thing expires. That's a point of pride for a defense.
So what do you
think?
So let me ask you this on the subject of Coach Groves. You know, the last couple of weeks we've stuck with that 80s theme. We talked about 80s movies 2 weeks ago. This week we went with 80s bands. Are we gonna? Do you want to stick with that, or should we try to move
maybe
on?
Toys, maybe toys. You know, yeah.
I didn't think about that.
Maybe we go with what were the prizes in your toy box?
Okay.
Well, top 5: GI Joes, Transformers, GoBots, Mask, He-Man, Thundercats,
obviously.
Star Wars. I mean, come on, man, never ends.
I was a big Indiana Jones fan,
know,
so
right?
I had had a figure and had the hat and all that kind of stuff.
Heck yeah.
All right, the Salu's about to trot to the ball and kick it back to the Model Blue Devils with 5:14 left to go in the game, and that's going to be a squib up the middle, gets behind the return man and goes picked up about the 9-yard line. It will be brought out as Model tries to get themselves in good position here. That was a big run there from Rip West after picking it up. So they'll have pretty decent field position after the return.
Yes, they will. And 5 minutes left. Both teams have 2 timeouts left. I'm sure Model will just like to get on the board, so they're going to come out here and give it their best shot. I tell you, Coach Groves told us on the coach's show Wednesday night, when it comes to homecoming, you boys don't get caught up in festivities. Your job's to win the football game. Then you can go to the dance and have fun when everybody asks you.
I think they've earned their fun. They really took the message to heart, it would appear. 2 wide receivers to the near side. Got a different quarterback in the game. We'll tell you about that in a second. But a man streaking down the field as we speak right now with a big run. We've seen a lot of those from him tonight. That's Gage McWhorter with another one. And in at quarterback here for Model is going to be, what's his number?
Jared Terhune?
Is it?
Looks like 24 is taking snaps.
Okay,
Yeah,
Colin Watson. We've seen them direct snap the ball to him a couple of times in this game. There's a snap to Watson, going to hand it off, and spin it around is going to be Gage McWhorter. Not much doing there. Maybe picked up a few yards there on first down.
Yeah. Time ticking off the clock here. We encourage you all to tune in after this broadcast is finished to the Rome Orthopedic Center High School Football Scoreboard Show with Lynn and Austin Butler and their cast of characters that call in. We encourage you to call in. If you were at an area game, give those boys a call. Matt, what's the number?
It's 706-232-7767.
Give them a buzz. Let them know what happened at your game.
Call in and chime in. There's the snap, direct snap to Colin Watson, runs it off the left side, bulldozes his way and pummels the defender and is able to get some extra yards out of that play. So they're in Tiger territory now with a first down.
Yeah. I think there was a little chatter after that one, and the Tigers players just pointed to the scoreboard. But we talked about it in the pregame. The emotions are going to run high when you're playing guys you grew up hitting in Pee Wee and Mike football.
So shotgun formation. There's the snap on 1st and 10. They go right back to Watson. Tries to run it off the left side. Defense closes quick. Brings him down after a short gain of maybe a yard. What was that last sound that I heard?
Sounded like a train whistle of some sort, but there is no train. So it's been a weird night for noises.
It really has been.
Yeah, we've had some odd ones. Car alarm, a couple of. So.
Second down and 10 here for the Blue Devils. Darlington leads at 31-0. 3:30 left to go here in the football game. There's the snap, high snap, gets over the quarterback's head. That's Colin Watson. He picks up the ball. He's got Tigers all around him. He's going to take a loss of about 18 yards, I'm guessing.
Yeah. It's been 2 steps forward, 6 steps back for Model tonight. It seems like when they get things going, something goes haywire, and they end up stalling out.
So we're now officially under the 3-minute mark, and big third down. Third and real long. 3rd and 28 coming up here for the Model Blue Devils. Fans still into it on this
Yes,
side, though.
They are.
Trips to the near side, empty backfield here for the quarterback. Jared Terhune is in the game now. He drops back looking to throw here on third down. Puts a good ball in the air. That's actually going to be nearly intercepted by Bodie Powers, who got up and kind of batted around a few times. I thought he was going to haul it in. It kind of bounced off of him, but incomplete pass.
Yeah, I think he had it 2 or 3 times before it finally popped loose. Almost another interception for the Tigers. And that'll bring a 4th and 28, and Model will punt this away, and I think it's all over, but for a few more snaps for Darlington.
Espinoza to kick it away here. Obviously nobody back deep here for the Darlington Tigers. And they're going to pick up a whopping victory over Model tonight. We'll see, 31-0. There's the kick. Espinoza puts a nice boot under it, and that thing is going to roll all the way back and down inside the 1 yard line, right around the goal line is where they were able to down that ball. That was a heck of a effort there by number 42, Jaden Daniel, to get down the field and catch up to that ball before it went in the end zone and down it. It was a great kick by Espinoza.
Great kick, great coverage, wonderful execution there. Darlington will have to be careful with it and just kind of fall forward here. I'd imagine we'll get 3 dive plays and see how much time's left.
So the punt pins Darlington with 2:14 left in the ball game, right up against the 1 yard line on their goal line. And they will get ready to line up and try to chew up the rest of this clock and enjoy Alumni Weekend with a whopping victory over a rivalry team.
Yeah, great matchup. Big win for Darlington. 2 more region games left on the schedule, both on the road. Probably get a sneak here, wouldn't you think?
I would think so. Konchesky getting ready to take the snap. He turns, actually hands it off to Duggan. A flag comes in. We need a couple more flags before this thing's over.
I mean, we can't,
can't get out of here without a few more of those.
Yeah. I mean, they can't. There's not much room for them to back Darlington up, but I'm guessing this is going to be another infraction on the Tigers.
Honeymoon Bakery icing on the cake player of the game coming up after tonight's action, followed by the Rome Orthopedic Center High School football scoreboard show. 2:08 remains in the game. Darlington up 31-0.
They're winding the clock. Refs are ready to go home too.
Konchesky getting to go up under center. Everybody's going to be in tight except for a wide receiver who split to the near side. That's going to be Nate Konchesky. As Sammy gets ready to take the snap at the goal line, he's got the ball. He's going to run the football and is able to get a little bit of room there. Gets close to about the 7 or 8, maybe even 9 yard line before they haul him in.
The bleacher creatures are getting crunk down there, Matt. They're going to invite you to the after party. Watch out. Need a chaperone. We need to make sure they behave. It's on us, man.
Yes, everybody behave tonight. Have some fun, but by all means, behave yourselves.
Behave yourselves.
All right, now the Tigers are going to get lined up in that wonderful formation that you want to be in at the end of the game, the victory formation.
That's right. That's right. They'll let this clock wind down. They may have to take 2 knees before this is over, but that should do it.
So Sammy getting ready to take the snap. 5 seconds on the play clock. He'll take the first knee.
Yeah, we'll have to snap it one more time.
So the Darlington Tigers are going to get that shutout. First one of the season. Win this game 31-0. Playing here at home. Last home game of the regular season. Last time that they'll play a county team here, and this is just a big win for the Tigers all the way around.
It is. Another important goose egg that we need to talk about, Matt. No turnovers tonight.
That's exactly right.
No turnovers.
That's going to be the first thing that we talk about coming up on the Coach Pro Show.
So.
No question about it. Whether we ask a question about it or not, I would imagine that's the thing that's going to be coming up. And, yeah, man, Tigers are going to win this one 31-0. What a way to kick off Alumni Weekend, huh?
Yeah. It'll be nothing but celebration left for all these clad in purple and white. And the Tigers pick up a huge win at home. Nice bounce back win after the loss last week. They get this one 31-0 over Model.
Absolutely. Congratulations to Coach Groves and also his entire coaching staff and team. Darlington moves their season record to 5-3 and 3-1 in region play. Model falls to 3-5 and 1-3 in region play. Again, 2 more games on the list for the Darlington Tigers. Next week we're at Temple, and then the Tigers will close out the regular season at Bremen against the Blue Devils on the 1st of November, and then there'll be a bye week between that and then when the playoffs begin. So that's a kind of what's left of the season. But we're going to send it back to the studio for 2 minutes. We'll talk over real quick the Honeymoon Bakery icing on the cake player of the game, and we'll be back to wrap things up here from Chris Hunter Stadium. Happy story tonight, though, for the Darlington Tigers. They win it 31-0 over the Model Blue Devils. We're back to wrap things up after a 2-minute break.
My name is Ryan Somerville. I am the sales manager for Business Water Solutions. We do water purification coolers as well as ice machines for any size business. We're on campus right now at Darlington School. Super happy to be here. They're one of our biggest customers. I myself played sports here. Our 2 founders played sports here. It was absolutely our pleasure to be a sponsor for Darlington Athletics. I think one thing that really sets us apart is our water purification. There's 13 stages. The reverse osmosis part of it has been a huge part of our success, along with our 24-hour guarantee for service calls. So when a customer does call us, we're then guaranteed within 24 hours. We were able to provide a touchless water system to make it more COVID-friendly in terms of germs and touching the water system. One thing I always say is we're not selling a product, we're selling our service. That's what we really push for every single day, is to have a customer service experience like they've never had before.
Coosa Steel is a family-owned full-line steel service center located in Rome, Georgia. Since 1972, we've been working to make our customers more efficient by providing steel product supply and processing all in one place. We are proud to provide a large range of products, including hot-rolled and cold-finished steel, stainless steel, galvanized steel, aluminum, and alloys. Our capabilities enable us to assemble and process steel orders within days, shortening your lead time. Coosa Steel. Steel for your project.
Welcome you back in one more time here as we start our very brief post-game show where we're going to award the Honeymoon Bakery Icing on the Cake Player of the Game for the 8th time this season. The 8th game of the season's in the book with 2 left to go in the season. Tigers win it tonight 31-0. And there, especially towards the end of the game, he made our choice clear, didn't he?
Yeah, he definitely did. There were a lot of players that stepped up and made big plays tonight, but this one, at possibly his last game at Chris Hunter Stadium in front of the home fans, Sammy Konchesky will be the Honeymoon Bakery Icing on the Cake Player of the Game. He was 3 for 5 passing for 74 yards and a touchdown to his younger brother, Nate. He had 13 rushing attempts for 58 yards and a touchdown, 2 touchdowns, and then an interception on defense. And again, the execution, while the penalties were a huge part of the story tonight, I mean, they overcame them because the offense was clicking on all cylinders, and we've said it before, it all runs through Sammy. And he had the stats to match it tonight. He's our player of the game. And the Tigers are winners, 31-0.
Congratulations to Sammy Konchesky, and thank you again to Honeymoon Bakery for sponsoring the Icing on the Cake Player of the Game for a number of years, well over a decade now. We certainly appreciate that. Well, that's pretty much going to put a wrap on our broadcast. Again, happy story for you tonight as the Tigers moved the season record to 5-3. They are 3-1 in region play as they get ready to go on the road next week at Temple. We'll have the broadcast for you. And I have to say, I'm looking forward to it. Never been to Temple before. So I'm excited to go over there for a ball game.
New venue. We can scratch another one off the list.
That's going to be fun. So make sure to tune in for that. I want to remind you that the Coach Grove Show comes up on Wednesday at 7 o'clock on the WLAQ YouTube channel and Facebook Live feed. So smash the subscribe button, share, like, all that good stuff. And we appreciate you tuning in. Do want to take one more opportunity as we wind things down to recognize everybody involved on the team that brings you this broadcast. We'll start with the video crew from Northwest Georgia Media. I just can't say enough nice things about the job that they do to elevate that. Definitely definitely putting ESPN on notice with the quality that they put into that. It's been unbelievable to watch that thing grow over the last few years, and it's been a pleasure to work with their crew. But tonight you had press box cameras, Noah Travis and Benton Potts, remote cameras, Uta Patterson. You had graphics with Caleb Bice, who's been great company up for us here in the press box. Replay was Thomas Patterson. Director Nathan Patterson, who is also the guru and the brains behind the Northwest Georgia media. And then commentary, courtesy of WLAQ. I'm Matt Davis alongside Ian Griffin, my partner in crime. Always enjoy working with you, man. Appreciate you. And then Lynn Butler back at the studio. So I think that covers everybody except for our statistician tonight, who's not in the box right now. But Grayson Atkins has done a good job with us this year, and we enjoy having him up in the press box as well. And, yeah, so that's pretty much everybody, I think.
Heck, man, you know what? We're going to get to the scoreboard show a little early.
Yes, we are. So we're going to take advantage of that opportunity. But again, congratulations to the Darlington Tigers, Coach Groves, everybody involved. 31-0 tonight in the final home game of the regular season. And we hope you join us coming up next week down at Temple as the Darlington Tigers get back into action with a head full of steam and a lot of momentum. Let's see what they can do against the Temple Tigers. Should be a lot of fun. So make sure you tune in for that, whether you listen on the radio or watch on the live stream. That's going to put a wrap on it. For Ian Griffin, I'm Matt Davis. For Lynn Butler back at the studio, getting ready to go with the Rome Orthopedic Center High School football scoreboard show along with Austin Butler. It's all yours, guys. Hope you have a great night, everybody. Stay safe.